This video contains subject matter that may be offensive and disturbing to some people. If you are the type to require a warning throughout a video or show, let this message serve as your warning. This channel discusses the harsh reality of true crime. If this warning is not sufficient for you, consider a different genre and unsubscribe from my channel immediately.
Oh, what's going on, everybody? All right. I just gotta get my calculator working over here. Hey, what's going on? All right. Awesome. So right now we're on the 19th day of the month, 60 something percent of the way through. Coming up here pretty soon, we're gonna, well, in 11 more days it'll be our first donation night. Of course, that doesn't mean anything to various people out there. All right. So the thing is on this channel, when there's people in the chat, a lot of times there's people that I know stuff about that other people don't know about. You know, meaning like not like, ooh, I got some secret I'm gonna. It's more like I just, you know, like, so if there's a little tension every once in a while or something, it has nothing to do with like, oh God, you know, Gray is just so mean to everybody. It's absolute crap. You know, like, yeah, every single person probably has a story where they came in here and they threw out some wild theory and I said, oh, that's just ridiculous. Then they got upset or something like that. Okay, that's how it goes. And when people, I guess there's people say that I don't like I treat the mods bad. When? You know, I mean, it's like, I mean, sometimes they delete a comment and then I say, hey, why was that deleted? Because I don't want that deleted. Okay, like there's certain comments that are just kind of regular comments that you just happen to not like, but you don't get to delete those ones. Hey, thanks, Cup of Joe. I mean, Scouting Dude for the Cup of Joe. Anyways, yeah, I was actually going to read Scouting Dude sent me. Remember the package that Scouting Dude sent to me? I don't know if he wants me to say his first name or whatever, but his first name's sort of common, so I don't think it would be a big deal to say it. But he sent me this package, and yeah, I don't know, just seeing people's comments make me feel bad, but I'm not going to be different. That's the part about it. It's like, God, look at all those people. They have this weird perception that isn't reality, you know, and I don't know what to do about it. I'm the one that has to deal with, yeah, I do make mistakes sometimes, you know, I know those, but other times I'm not making mistakes. I know exactly what I'm saying and why I'm saying it and everything. Oh, you have an Ultra Dark CEO. There you go. No, it just makes you feel bad, like, wow, look at these people. Now, there's people like Michelle that used to be on this channel. You know, she's always out there. Now, here's the thing, everybody. There's a couple women out there that used to be mods on here. And one time, I saw somebody will let me know, and then I saw that they were being moderators on another true crime YouTube channel, if you call them that, the one with the preacher. And I told them, look, you can choose to be over there or on my channel. And they said, well, I'm staying over there. So I go, okay, you're not mods anymore. And then unleash the Kraken. It turned into like this whole, like everywhere they went, Gray's the meanest oh, Gray's like this, and it's all just ludicrous shit. I've decided if channels can have their BFFs make fake hate clips for them, then so can Gray minus the BFF part. That's weird to me. You random internet guy. I filled 2 notebooks with ideas. Should I start with 50 Shades of Gray? I get it. Yeah. Hey, you know what you should do is get the... that was Doohickey. Thank you very much. Yeah, if you want the notebooks, I've already sent like 37 out. I mean, it's crazy, you know? Yeah, so I've sent about 30-something out. And, you know, one of the people, for example, like, the Michelle. Michelle's a pretty common name, so you don't really have to know who it is, but she would pretend that she was a crime scene tech to everybody. She'd come on the show and be, yes, the crime scene, blah, 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 blah. And then it turns out later she is a hairdresser, okay? So it had nothing to do with that shit, okay? So when you have people like that and you know that stuff in the background, it's hard to treat them like nice when they're calling in or something or commenting because you know what the reality is. Right. So, yeah, just letting you know. That's the reality of it. And that happens and it sucks, you know. It's just sort of, it is what it is. You know, but I do feel bad that, some people that were newer here, like PS and other people, they haven't been throughout the years, so they just see a certain amount of time, and then it looks like I'm, mean to everybody, ooh, and I really just don't see it that way. But if everybody saw it that way, then maybe I would go, sure, could I be way nicer all the time? Maybe, but then you're sort of caving into allowing lesser quality information coming in. I'm not always right too in the stuff that I don't allow in. It's just a perception that I have when I see something that I don't think is very likely. And thank you so much up there to Doohickey for the generous super chat, and Wonder Woman, get us out from under. Wonder Woman. Oh, and Doohickey again. Let people wonder where my money comes from. Yeah. I feel bad that I've let some people down, but, maybe they'll see that. I mean, look at. See, there's other channels they do give to charity. I do know that. Okay, and people make this thing, they just don't mention it. Well, the reason they don't is because look at the trouble you get in. But it's not even just that. If, let's say you make $80,000, $100,000, and you donated $2,000. Well, that sounds kind of good, like $2,000 or whatever. But on this channel, if I brought in 80 from YouTube, I'd be donating 30 something. All right, so there's a huge gap there, and people don't want, it's like they don't want you to see that. I would love it if all the true crime YouTubers did exactly what I did. We would have like millions of dollars going and helping in the true crime, or you could donate to any charity you want to, really. I mean, thank you, Patty G007 and John Dunn. Looking forward to watching the show. Keep up the great work. And what did Scoutin' Dude said? Can I say your name, Scoutin' Dude? I mean, other than Scoutin' Dude? Just your first name? Okay. There you go. I see you now. Yeah, so Matthew is his name. I'm gonna read the letter that he wrote in here, if you guys don't mind. Well, even if you mind, I'm reading it. How do you like that? Yeah, I mean, look at Nicole's a perfect example. Like, there was a moment where she sort of bought into, like, oh wow, you know, but then realized that what I was saying and stuff like that was reality, right? So you know, there's those good stories like that. That's good. She said, I don't think you're mean. You have had reasons for your reactions. Yeah, I mean, every once in a while there's times where I react incorrectly to a situation. I know that. What am I looking at here? Oh. Hello. Anyways, let me read this letter. This is from Scout and Dude. It says, in the box are 2 coins, 2 combat patches, and a belt buckle. See, look how horrible that would have been to have lost this stuff. These items. You know what I mean? It's not stuff. These items. I mean, it's just... Oh, man, I'm so glad. And a belt buckle. The patches... Well, let me show you. So here we go. This one says Brave Rifle on. Maybe you can type in the chat which one of the patches this is called. There's one right there. Brave Rifle. These look like they're actual... Like, you've worn these, maybe. Maybe not this one. I don't know. It's hard to say. And then this one right here. So I got those. The patches are from 3rd Armored Cavalry Regiment. I deployed to Iraq twice with them in 2003 and 2004. In 2005, again, to 2006. So 2003 to 2004, then a break for a year, it looks like. And then 2005 to 2006. Let's see. The second patch is 4th Infantry Division. I deployed with them to Iraq in 2008 and 2009. That's probably the I don't know. Is that the green one with the square one? Oh, cool, yeah. The buckle is iron. 3rd Arc, my favorite unit of my 17 years in the Army. Oh, cool. Oh, and that's this one right here, right? That 3. Is that what that means? I'm guessing that's what it means. The coins in the military, you receive a coin for doing something that has a great impact on the unit. The 4-7, and that is this one. This coin right here. Let's see. The 4-7 Cav coin is my most favorite coin. 4th Squadron, 7th Cavalry is stationed in South Korea. If the Korean War was to break out again, only 30 soldiers go north to fight the North Koreans, and I was in that platoon. I received the coin for the following reason. It's a pretty cool story here. So here we go. Let's see. In order to leave your camp in Korea and go out into the civilian areas, you have to have a pass. You must show it to leave the camp and go get back into camp. And you have to, let's see, you have to, let me read that again. You have to show it, the pass, let's see. You must show it to leave the camp and to get back into the camp. So if you leave, you have to show the pass, and then when you get back in, you show it again. The commanding general orders were 100% ID card and pass check, no exceptions. I was promoted to corporal, and my first official duty as a non-commissioned officer was gate guard. Well, the commanding general came to inspect. See, you know what it reminds me of is like A Few Good Men and the Nicholson character. Just, you know, I mean, just this guy. That's what it sounds like to me. I don't know why. But. All right, so where was I? Well, the commanding general came to inspect our camp. When I asked to see their ID cards and passes, to very angry staff sergeants got out of the... so he asked to, you know, let me see your passes, and then two very angry staff sergeants got out of the Humvee and started yelling at him, at our buddy Matthew right here. He then informed them they were not in the chain of his command, and I was the sergeant of the guard. I informed them they were not getting on to Camp Gary Owen without showing the proper identification, and pointed them to the posted order from the general trying to get into the installation. As they were yelling at me, I went to call the staff duty desk to inform them of the issue of the front gate. The general's aides threatened the Korean guard, and he let them in. About 2 hours later, a Black Hawk helicopter landed at the general, and the general left. So the Black Hawk helicopter landed, and the general left. My control came to the front gate and gave me the coin and said, General Swartz knew you would not let him leave the camp since he forgot his ID and Liberty Pass. He laughed and said only a corporal would hem up a general. That coin is for you. That's a pretty cool story. There you go. Then he said the second coin, which is this one, right? I think it's this one. The smaller has a 2 on it. The second coin is for you to give to someone you respect. You tell them the story how you came to come in possession of the coin. It's the second ACR coin and the weight of receiving it. Then in turn, when they find someone they respect, they do the same. I truly respect you and what you do. What you do hopefully brings closure to family who deserve it. It is a pleasure to be able to watch your show and converse with you. Stay true in the reasons why you started doing what you do, and you'll always succeed. And then he respectfully, Matt, I don't know if he wants me to say his last name, but how cool is that? And here's the that coin right there. Anyways, thank you so much. It actually makes me sort of emotional, but I'm gonna, it made me feel good. So, yeah, I'll send it on and I'll say how I got it, and then they have to pass it on to somebody too. And I guess it's sort of interesting. I mean, it'd be cool if everybody had to tell everybody else, like what their story was, so that it's like this long chain of stories. Anyways, thank you so much for sending those. What do I do with the patches? Can I put them on something like a hat, and will that cause me issues with somebody? Or just kind of keep them? Now, you might have to call in later. Let's explain in fashion. They may understand. 100 kangaroo bits is maybe $70 US. 30% of sending you to lose 49 tax time takes the yeah, I know. That's what's crazy, right? Doohickey? Well, at least you're able to do the math. Yeah. I mean, it's better, like PayPal's better for stuff like that. Then at least it isn't, I still get taxed on PayPal, right? But there isn't the immediate 30%. Anyways, thank you so much, Scouting Dude. Very cool. Hopefully I read it correctly. I think it's a cool story. But doesn't it remind you a little bit? I don't remember the lines that Nicholson had, but I could just see it. I mean, he was in Cuba though, right? So what he was saying, the way he was like, "Hey, you're gonna let me in anyways." Stripes. Thank you, Quietly Frozen. Hey, good to see you, Quietly Frozen. The coolest name in YouTube history. Been a while. Yeah, Stripes is pretty good. I especially like the part where they did their own little... I think I'm thinking of the right movie. Isn't that the one with Bill Murray? God, it's so quiet. I like when they walked around and they did their marching to the music just after one night, and they like kicked ass. It was like 2 movies. The second part was pretty crazy. Yeah, that's right. That's the fact, Jack. Why did the chicken cross the road? Yeah, it's like 2 completely different movies in that movie. Like, we need to fill another 45 minutes. Oh, yeah, let's send them off to... What are you referring to, Moofies? What am I supposed to be looking at? Amy? Right, yeah. Why did the chicken cross the road? That's what it says. Oh, you can't... Oh, you can see Mary Lou. Yeah. Sorry. I don't even use this screen very much. Where the hell is Mary Lou, though? I think Mary Lou's taken over the computer. You can't get her... There it is. Yeah. Alright, you guys ready? I'm trying to figure out what order to do stuff in. Well, first of all, we know that... Oh, hold on a second. Yeah, I was just trying to see the picture. You remember the whole Alec Baldwin situation? Well, he's being charged with manslaughter. You know, involuntary manslaughter, as well as the lady that was, you know, the firearms person. You know, that's a weird case for me. I know that people that run, you know, I mean, absolutely do not like Alec Baldwin at all. I think he's one of the worst piles of crap that's ever lived. But he... You know, what I think about it is he's an actor. Now, he runs the show, so he should have more hands-on. But let's just say it was a... See, there's these people that go, well, if you fire a gun, you know, you're responsible for pulling trigger. I mean, I get that part. Like if you... I mean, it seems a little different in a movie set, though, when they're really only supposed to be blanks around. And there's the expert that hands you the gun. You're the actor. But he isn't just the actor here. It's his production company. So I think that's where you have to, like, he runs the show, right? Now, what if it was just some actor they brought in just to play the part? And what if it was a female actress? Would you feel a little differently? Like if it was, I don't know, Demi Moore or somebody shows. Well, she doesn't do movies anymore, but... hell, I can't even think of anybody right now. But you bring him onto the set, and you hand him a gun, and let's say the girl fires the gun. Oh, he shouldn't even know it, you know, like, hey, you know, doesn't even shoot guns in her life or anything. And there's a bullet in it. Yeah, Julia Roberts is a good one. I was trying to think of a different one. But. So let's say Julia Roberts gets on a set, and, you know, she's not a firearms expert or anything, and you know, the person hands her prop gun that's supposed to be used for a scene, and then you pull the trigger and then somebody put a real bullet in there. You know, there's some interesting audio too of Alec Baldwin talking to like his producer or somebody, maybe a lawyer, and he was just like, what in the hell happened? You know, he really had, he seems genuinely like, you know, that doesn't mean anything. I mean, like, it just means that there's a lot of conspiracy wackos that think he was trying to kill the person, and it's just ludicrous, okay? He was just thinking some of the same stuff other people were, how did the bullet get into that gun? You know? I mean, how irresponsible, if it really was just purely an accident, how does that even happen? I mean, it's amazing. And by the way, why do they even come close to using functional guns on sets like that, even though you're putting blanks in them? Just have a gun that looks exactly like a gun, but it just doesn't fire any bullets. You know, and then you put the bullet sound in or something later. I don't know. I won't lose any sleep at all. You know, I think it'd be hilarious though if he got 5 years in prison, because that's what the minimum amount he could get. Oh God, that'd be great. And I hope they don't put him in like Joe Schmo prison for the rich people. You know, like not Joe Schmo. That would be that's the complete opposite. Joe Schmo's for not rich people. That would be, what are those ones like Club Fed or whatever the hell it is? You know, where Barbara, what's her name? Not Barbara. What's the lady's name that does the house stuff? Her name isn't popping into my head. You guys know. Yeah, Martha Stewart. There you go. Yeah. So. Yeah, I mean, she served prison time, but it was just, oh wow, you know, we play bingo. We can, oh my God, you guys, oh my God, what does this mean? Martha Stewart, 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 Martha Stewart.
30, sir. 25 to them, you're out. I'm 25, 30, now 5, I'm 35.
Yeah, because the one right before it, nobody could read, so. We all typed it in at the same time, Gray. Maybe that's what it is. Yep, Jen, there it goes. There it goes. Ka-ching, ka-ching. Yeah. What do you guys think, though? I mean, I won't lose any sleep at all. I could just see it being, I mean, why do you even bother having a firearms expert on the scene? You know, whoever they're called, if they're not the one that the buck stops with. I don't know. But he's a little different, though, because he runs the company, so he oversees everything. He needs to, you know, but if it was just a random actor, I would think, oh, man, you can't really blame them. Whoever handed them the gun, that's their fault. Although, I'm sure if you're in the military or police or own guns, yours is like, you never fire a gun unless you know, you're being safe with it, you know what. If there's any ammunition in it and stuff like that. So it's kind of a weird scenario because on a movie set, there's not supposed to be any live ammunition whatsoever. So the actors feel like you're just using a prop at that point and really wouldn't ever be thinking of checking it. But maybe they should, right? Yeah, I can't stand Baldwin. Yeah. Oh yeah? Not for the information I put out there? Man. You'd think that would be it. But if you're out there, P.S., it'd be great to see you again. I feel bad for letting you down, but let's see what happens. The expert was obviously not Yeah, it seems like it was more like a nepotism thing. Like, oh god, maybe we should hear from Scout and Dude. How about Scout and Dude? You be the final verdict on that, without even hearing any information at the trial. What do you think? I know all the different arguments out there. We went over it originally. Well, what is it? What is it, Scout and Dude? What are you picking? Hey, thank you, Snarky. I think you might be right there. The problem is they're trying to make it so that people don't feel comfortable over here. They're trying to create a narrative about me. So what Snarky Cinderella said is, I honestly think people are jealous of the good you do. You run an honorable channel. You take pride in what you do here, and you absolutely should. Crappy people won't stop you. Yeah, well, I'm going to keep going, but at the same time, you know, when a lie told often enough becomes the truth. That's their motto. Yeah. Mm-hmm. So, how you feeling, Stacy? Everything, you're back to 100% now? Yeah. I'm watching on my phone. I'll call. Oh, okay. When the lines are, I don't really. I mean, I could open up the lines now for that particular since we're talking about it. Here, let me. It'll take a second here. Well, they've been coming after me for a while, but yeah, now it's
recording in progress.
That's not the number. That's not the number. Don't call that one. All right, that's the number right there. So the only person calling right now is Scout and Dude. Nobody else, okay? So let's hear what Scout and Dude says about that. Yeah, that means you, Joey, not you. Yeah, maybe it would change Hollywood up a little bit. Yeah, look at that. D and K Reck. Haven't seen you in a while. Hello.
Hello. This is a first-time listener, long-time caller, Scouting Dude.
Well, it's not the first time listener. You've been, you said it exactly backwards, man. You're supposed to say, long time listener, first time caller. Yeah. Yeah. So anyways, what do you got? What do you think about this?
Alec Baldwin and the armor. Both agree they should be charged. Wherever it goes in the court system, it goes. But even the basic person that goes into the police academy, goes to be a gunsmith, an armorer, goes in the military, anything, they're taught the first thing you do when you get a weapon from somebody else is that you clear it and make sure it's not loaded.
Mm-hmm.
The whole deal with Alec Baldwin and the armor, he was her boss, and from everything that I've read on the whole case is he was kind of a Debbie Downer and kind of rude for some rich, fripple little people. Yeah. And so they were all at odds. But that doesn't excuse the armor for not doing what she's supposed to with the gun. And it doesn't negate the fact that Mr. Baldwin shot somebody with the gun. If I was to go outside right now and shoot my gun, if that bullet, from the moment it leaves the barrel, I'm responsible for it.
What do you think about so even if there was a nefarious actor out there who put live ammunition in that gun because he thought maybe Alec Baldwin, maybe he goofs around sometimes and pulls it at his head or whatever, and thought maybe it would kill him, it still doesn't negate the fact that those two didn't check the gun, right?
Correct.
Yeah, so even if there was like a murder attempt by somebody else, they should still be charged. I mean, and succeeded, so it would be an actual murder by somebody else. They should still be charged with negligence. Correct. Yeah, okay. Yeah. Well, it makes sense. I mean, what about if Alec Baldwin wasn't the boss and it was just an actor or actress that was just getting in to do their scene right there, told to do something, and fired it? Would you think differently a little bit? Because they're just sort of...
No.
I mean, what about with the current rules, though? Because they're not really taught to, you got to check this and you got to do this.
They are. In fact, Nicolas Cage, I believe, made a statement, and somebody else that says, they said when this first started kicking off, because it was a hot topic with all the gun community, and it was, they came on, did an interview with somebody and said, if you've done one action movie with the gun, it is drilled into your head. The first thing you do when you receive the weapon from the armor is verify that it is clear. The armor verifies that whatever ammunition is supposed to be used for that scene is in it, and then the actor does the same thing. And once both of them have had visual cues and say, yes, this is safe, these are what's in this gun, then they will shoot the scene.
Wow, that's crazy. I mean, it makes sense, but that's adding a lot of extra responsibility for the actor. You're never really sure, right? Especially if you're somebody that's not really proficient with guns and you're clearing it, and then you're always wondering, God, did I leave one in the... And then when you pull that trigger, you're probably like squinting your eyes, just wondering, and then, okay, good. But I guess that's the way it should be, though. Yeah.
With those patches, though, you can put them on anything you want.
Oh, yeah, okay.
And if anybody says anything, you can give them my name and address, and I'll take care of them.
Okay. Well, I'll just, maybe I'll put it I could put it up here. Look at that. That'd be pretty cool. Boom, right? I'm like, you couldn't see it. I don't know. Maybe a different
Wherever you put it, fine with me. I don't care.
Oh, cool. But, and then the belt buckle, I don't really have a belt for it, but I'll just put it up like on a stand, so I can look at it.
Yeah, I got two belt buckles. One's the one you got, and then the other one's more of a bronze flat look, but it sits up on my shelf with all my coins and all that.
So that must have been kind of made you a little bit nervous when you had to not let the general or whatever into the into the camp.
I honestly thought that they were checking to see if I was going to do the right thing.
Ah, well, you did.
And I'm like, no, there's no way. And I got two staff sergeants, because I was a corporal, which is E4 pay grade. And I have two guys that are E6s in their pay grade screaming at me. And I'm like, no, you don't outrank me. I'm the sergeant of the guard. I'll just go call my staff duty. And one of the biggest things in in Korea, Japan, China is respect, complete and total respect. Saving face, stuff like that in front of your family. Well, the 2 staff sergeants told this Korean civilian guy that he would lose his job, lose his respect from his entire family.
So he was a South
Korean. And that's
Korean.
why he lifted the
I was
gate.
going to ask you
Yes.
that. I was going to ask you, like, wow, I mean, was it the South Korean soldier? So that's what he did, huh? He told him, you're going to lose your job if you don't
Yep.
let me. He should have gotten in trouble for that. That's ridiculous.
He should have, but in what was it? Non-commissioned officers like that in the Army, I always referred to them as zebras. All stripes, no purpose.
Yeah. Oh, well.
But yeah, I honestly thought that they were just testing me to see if I would do it.
You know, I was always wondering, how come zebras aren't ridden around like horses? You ever wonder about that? I guess that's what you're saying.
I wonder about all kinds of stuff. You don't want to open up Pandora's box.
Okay. A lot of stuff to wonder about out there. But hey, I want to say really, thank you so much. I'm so glad that we were able to track that down. What a weird odyssey that was for the package. It got sent to my P.O. box.
Yes.
That gets transferred to my house, except my wife set something up on accident where all of her mail was sent to this other mailbox, and I didn't know about it. So the post office was like, well, we see the package, and it was forwarded. And I go, I know it was forwarded. That's what I had to go to our house. And eventually our brains connected, and she said, no, I mean, there's a forwarding that has it go to this other address. And I go, well, what is it? Well, I can't tell you. She couldn't tell me where it was being forwarded to. It's like, what do you mean? It's my mail. Anyways, then I remembered my wife's. We got an apartment for them because they're finally getting here after all these years, and I knew where it was on Google Earth. So look how good Google Earth is, everybody. Then I clicked on the house and the address there, and it said the right zip code that it got forwarded to. So then I knew that that's what it was. Anyways, we got it. So I want to thank you for that.
It was my pleasure. Not all superheroes are in the military, first responders, doctors, anything like that. You're one of my heroes, Gray.
Oh,
and
really?
you have a good night.
Well, thank you. Wow, thanks so much. I don't know if I deserve it, but I appreciate it very much. Thank you. All right. Well, yeah, I just was going to get one call, Jeff. Didn't you hear me say that? Well, that was a nice thing to say. So I appreciate what you just said there. I don't think of myself like that. Yeah, I bet you guys don't think of yourself like that either, right? But, wow. So it's nice to hear stuff like that sometimes when all you hear is, you just see these negative. Oh, negative this, negative that, negative this, negative that, over and over and over again. Well, might just have to do that at some point there, Marty. We don't have enough guys that are mods anyways, right? Oh yeah, get Scouting Dude in there. Phew. I mean, that's a mod right there, right? Anyways, thank you for your service. It's just awesome. He's one of the people that actually went out and did it. All right. I gotta check something real quick. Hey, thank you so much, Mary Crossley. Okay. How many people are watching? I don't even know. What is it? 2,000? Yeah. Yeah, so right now, if we were going to do no donation at the end of the month, we'd probably be at, what is it? Like right now, it'd be almost over 5,000. So we've done 2,500 so far. So, you know, that's where we're about right now. That's why it's been kind of crazy. So right now for the month, it'd be about $5,000 to true crime related charities. So we'll see how it goes at the end of the month. It'd be cool to get to, like, you know, 7 or 8, something like that. Because it's over 50% of the net revenue. Right, so if I bring in, like, the way it works over here, if I brought in $20,000 in a month, let's say, on YouTube, after taxes, that'd be about 14 something, right? And then I'd be donating 8 out of YouTube, right? Or more, you know, it could even be more. Like one month we did 10, and the income was, I think it was right around 20, the whole channel. And we gave 10. What are all the booms? Oh, for what I just said. But yeah, it's cool. Right now we're already about 5. Because I think we're at 12 total, you know. And then there's taxes, so that'd be 9. So I'd give 5. Yeah, you know. So just is what it is. No, I get taxed on what's left over after YouTube takes their amount. Yeah, not the full amount. That'd be ridiculous. Yeah, it's a cool place there. The Joy Catcher. Yeah, I mean, I don't like I said, I don't have to donate anything, but I want to, you know, and I think it creates a cool, you know, it's a great atmosphere. You know, we're doing things. You know, if I could average 6,000 a month this year, it'd be 72,000, right? That'd be pretty awesome. Hey, Flower Power, listen to this. You are not ever going to enjoy this channel. I can tell you that right now. So for those that go, Gray, you're always so mean. Listen to what Flower Power just said. Just joined. How about you unjoin immediately? And said, why are we discussing cash? I want to know case updates, okay? Well, I'll check back. I hate when people discuss how they need money. Okay, I didn't say how I needed money, you idiot. I didn't say that at all. All right, so goodbye. You're now removed from the channel permanently. Have a good one. Not built to break. Yeah, never said anything about that, Flower Power. So go enjoy some other wacko channel. Thanks for having integrity, giving back, Ray. You are one of the few that I can even stomach listening to, as I have zero tolerance for BS and drama. Well, thank you. Not built to break. Don't you love it when they just give away who they are right away so you can just get rid of them? And now people will say, see how mean Gray was to the sub. Does anybody think that that's a sub that was worth having here based on how they responded there? And the answer is no, okay? How do you know, Gray? Maybe they just wanted the update. All right, let's do one on Brian Walshe update. What don't you get, the Joy Catcher? What don't you get? Hey, look at that. It's PS. Hey, how cool is that? So here we go. Here we go. And now she's probably like, see, look at you were just mean to that, but I wasn't. Did you hear what they wrote? Yeah. All right, Brian Walshe, Google search history in full as he pleads not guilty to murdering his wife, Anna. Right, so here are all these searches down here. Let's just go over these, and that's all there is really here. Listen to this. Yeah, I think that's really her, yeah. Same name and everything. Now she's going to hear the... Listen to this craziness. And by the way, I mean, haven't we all looked these up just randomly? How long before a body starts to smell, right? I mean, we've all typed that in, just casually sitting around at home. And then how about how to keep a body from decomposing? I mean, again, we've all done that multiple times. I would say 7 or 8 times a week we type that in. How to bound a body. Yeah, that too. I mean, put a 1 if you haven't typed that in. I mean, we won't see one for hours in here. This one, 10 ways to dispose of a body if you really need to. I mean, is this guy for real here? I mean, I don't mean to laugh at it, but he typed in the whole sentence. I'm not just say 10 ways to dispose of a body. Instead, he put, if you really need to. Yeah, I mean, let me look at. How do you dispose of a body when you don't really need to? That's what I want to know. So if he wants to know how you dispose if you really need to, but what I want to know is, how do you do it when you don't really need to, right? How long for someone to be missing to inherit? Oh, God. Oh, man. Can you throw away body parts? I mean, this guy, his IQ isn't high, I can tell you that. Can you throw away body parts? Sure. You know, I mean, that's like one of those questions. Is it possible that? Yeah, I mean, you could throw away body parts. That would be after you did something horrific to them. What does formaldehyde do? Wow. How long does DNA last? That's another one. Can identification be made on partial remains? Well, I mean, this guy is no genius, let's be honest. Of course they can. You know, there's DNA, all kind of teeth, everything. Dismemberment and the best way to dispose of a body. Yeah. How to clean blood from a wooden floor. I mean, this guy. Well, you go to his house and there's a wooden floor downstairs in the basement. Luminol to detect blood. What happens when you put body parts in ammonia? Hey, I got a whole bunch of ammonia around. Would that help with anything? Or is it better to throw crime scene clothes away or wash them? I guess that's the only one that I thought, you know, that is sort of an interesting question, right? Because if you wash them and you do it really well, and there's no way to detect anything, there's no stains or anything, and you put it back in the house, that would, you know, that might be good. That's the only question he asked that had any validity to it whatsoever. What am I missing here? How come I can't see that person that you blocked there? Are they way up there or something? Huh. Hey, thanks, Brianna25. I'm risking my bank account doing this, but I have to say it. I'm going to be in a cult. There's no leader I'd rather have than you. Thanks. Yeah, that's what they say. A cult. A cult of logical thinkers, you know. I don't know. The person you blocked, I couldn't see their comments, so that's probably good that you blocked them. All right, then January 2nd, he says, hacksaw best tool to dismember. Can you be charged with murder without a body? Man, this guy's never watched any bit of true crime, has he? Hey, P.S. Not too bad, not too bad. Good to see you in here. Can you be charged with murder without a body? Can you identify a body with broken teeth? Oh, so he ended up smashing her. Oh, God. That's what he did then. What happens to hair on a dead body? I wonder why he asked that. What happens to hair on a dead body? That's sort of an interesting one. See, what this is showing you is what he did to her. He cut her up with a saw, took a hammer, probably smashed her teeth in. And then, what happens to hair on a dead body? Why is he asking that question? That's an interesting one. So he's thinking of something. Not about like it's looking, you know, it has nothing to do with a piece of hair being left behind a house. He wanted to know what happens to hair in a dead body. That's a weird one. There's a reason he's asking that. What is the rate of decomposition of a body found in a plastic bag compared to on a surface in the woods? What is the rate of decomposition of a body found in a plastic bag compared to on the surface? Like he means is it if it's out in the environment, will it decompose faster than? Well, I would imagine out in the wild it would. Well, if it was summertime, I don't know what would happen, but the bag would keep everything in it, right? Probably help preserve in some way if the oxygen somehow left the bag. But out in the wild, I mean, all the elements would do it. Can baking soda make a body smell good? Wow, what a weird question. What he's really saying is, can baking soda make a decomposing body smell good? But man, I really want to know what he means by what happens to hair on a dead body. Is he talking about his own hairs on there? What happens to hair on a dead? No, I think he's talking about the hair from the person. Well, I don't know what he clicked on him though, right? So he clicked on him to see, right? I don't. Yeah, remember that, Tosh? Yeah, I was just reading Tosh's comment about the black SUV and the Debbie Collier case. And remember, it wasn't even just that; it was every single car in the parking lot. Their minds developed these big, long stories about them. Huh? Girl back. What happens to hair on a dead body? I don't know. I think he wants to know, does the hair like dissolve out there? But maybe there was something in her hair that he was hoping would disappear. You know, maybe he did something to her hair, cut it short with scissors or something, and doesn't want that to be seen because that'll be obvious something else was going on. So, yeah, maybe something like that. No, but why would he wonder if hair decomposes? It wouldn't even... Oh, I see. Because if they find her hair later, they could link it back. I see. Yeah. Well, maybe. That's probably the best explanation, actually. Just such an awkwardly worded question, don't you think? Wow. Just wow. Okay, well, that's it, you guys. That's the update on that wacko. Other than that, he is the killer, so it's not really... You know, to me, it reminds me of Chris Watts. And to be honest with you, the case, it was over in 2 minutes, you know. We already got the answer. Now it's just about the details, which, you know, they're going to be pretty disgusting. And thank you, the Mike D Experience. Oh, cool. All right, so now, you know what I'm going to do next? I'm going to do the cold case next, and then we're going to get into all the stuff on Kohberger, and then we'll see, you know, we'll see what happens there. We'll do call in or something like that. Yeah, I mean, it's a nightmare. I think the lady, she was in a classic situation where she just, you know, every time he did something, she's the one that kept him from having more severe punishment, and then she ends up dying. It sounds like the one of those classic abuse, really, like with the what would they call it? I think there used to be somebody on here, they call it like Cobra and Pitbull. So Cobras are the ones that plot and plan, waiting to strike. And then the pit bulls are the ones that are, you know, the drunk guys that beat up a wife or something, or a girlfriend often. The cobras are the ones that plot and plan and then do strike out sometimes. So I'm not really sure what this guy would be. He doesn't seem like he really planned it too well. Like he just got really angry, and that's why he was looking up those. I'd like to know when the searches were. That'd be pretty interesting. Thank you, Tosh, and Quietly Frozen. The coolest name in YouTube history. Hey, thanks, Annabelle Stealth. Alright, you guys ready? I'm going to do a cold case now, don't worry. We'll get back to the other one, but every once in a while you got to do something else. This is Brandy Don Hutchins. This is her right here. This happened in 1988. I think let me just try to... I have to make a folder here really quick. I thought I had built one, but I think my Google Earth shut down the other day before I could save it, and I lost some stuff. All right. And this is a weird one because they actually have a possibility of Satanism going on here. It's pretty crazy. All right. But here we go. This is back in 1988 in... where was that? Arkansas, I think. Yeah, Arkansas, yeah. Arkansas Gazette had a bunch of articles in it. Yeah, and I guess this is about that time frame when all this was happening. So, Sheriff Eddie King of Johnson County refused Monday to rule out devil worship in the death of a pregnant 14-year-old who was shot in the forehead with a small caliber bullet. Well, as soon as I hear that, that's like, I don't think of devil worshiping whatsoever when I hear of a gunshot to the forehead. You know, that's not, there's no, you know, symbolism or anything like that to it. But hold on one second. My wife just got home. Hey, thanks, John C. I got a new dog thing for the dog, you know, like a double crate or whatever you want to call it. It's not really a crate though, it's soft. I don't really know how to explain it. Alright, so we got people that got their notebooks have been shipped out, but here, look. I think that's one right there. Yep. Alright, so if you do, let me just show you this. So this is actually like merch that I'm selling. I mean, you know it already, but these are the new notebooks, but these ones are 80 pages thick and much more, you know, they're like very sturdy. And right here has the Freak pen. So I've been taking out this other pen that comes with it. And then I put this pen, the Freak pen, in it like this. See, then it's like that, right? So now you got the Freak pen with the Freak notebook. Alright? And like if you send in 25 on PayPal, then you get this and you get to be in the spin at the end of the show also. So there you go. And if you win at the spin, you can get a mug or whatever instead. So that, and then you have a mug and a the notebook. But there you go. If you want one of the Gray Hughes Investigates notebooks, you send a PayPal in for 25 and say that you want the notebook in it, and then I add you to it, and now I can get all the shipping, everything from home, and then I send it off to everybody. I've just sent out 37 of them. Yeah, some of them had been sitting there for weeks and weeks and weeks because I ran out, and then I wanted a better notebook, so I finally found one. Alright, so those are the pages like that inside. Pretty cool, huh? Alright. He said Monday that suicide has been ruled out of the death of Brandy Don Hutchins following an autopsy in Little Rock. Her fully clothed, says Foddy, but it meant to say body, was found Saturday near Coal Hill in the root cellar of an abandoned house used by devil worshippers for satanic rituals, authorities said. Just way out in this small little town in Arkansas right here. He said there was one surprise during the autopsy, though, and can't comment on it. Miss Hutchins, I think I know what it is now based on other headlines. Miss Hutchins lived in Clarksville with her father. Her mother lives in Ottumwa, Iowa. Asked about the possibility of Satanism being involved in the girl's death, King said, from all indications we're getting, it could be. A lot of people have been giving us information that would tend to lead you to believe that it is involved. I mean, maybe the place was for that, but it doesn't mean that that's what that was, right? Hey, a crime freak? Wow, that's pretty good. 'Cause that's exactly what we all are here. What a perfect channel for your name. I'm having a deja vu right now. Or a vuja day. Haven't you been here before? A vuja day is when you absolutely know you've never seen something before. King said there are suspects, but that no arrests have been made. Hunters found the girl's body in the house. King said authorities found markings on the wall of a pentagram, the number 666, the initials KKK, and the word murder. Eee. Sure it wasn't red rum? or unalived. We walked into the deep forest and found an abandoned cabin with rickety wood. When we opened the door, we saw the words scrawled on the wall that said, "Unalived here." And we all laughed our asses off for the next 20 minutes. Yeah, there we go. Unalived? What in the hell are you talking about? I should do audiobooks, huh? Yeah. People do like my videos that I've been putting out. King said there are suspects, but that no arrests have been made. Hunter found the girl's body in the house. King said authorities found 666, KKK, and the word murder, spelled backwards. Oh, it was red rum then. Jeez. She was last seen Thursday. Earlier, when asked about devil worshiping being involved, he said, "At this time, I wouldn't rule out anything. I wouldn't say that it is, but I wouldn't rule out anything. Within the last month, I would say I've probably gotten at least 20 calls from the public about kids being involved in this. Officers believe a rope and a wire hanging from the rafters of the house were used in an animal sacrifice." King said the body found papers indicating that Miss Hutchins had taken a pregnancy test that was positive, and that she had told her father. Evidence indicates Miss Hutchins was killed in the 11 by 14 cellar, King said. The pentagram is a 5-point star-shaped figure used as an occult symbol for magicians. The number 666 is the mark of the beast, the mark put on the forehead of those who worship the beast, the Christian symbol of a position to God. I mean, this is Arkansas, so getting into that. Now, Cairo was telling me that this Arkansas specifically was like the hotbed right around that time for this type of belief. Sheriff notes devil worship has suspects. Authorities said Monday they have suspects in the slaying of a pregnant 14-year-old Brandy Don Hutchins. And Johnson County Sheriff Eddie King said he strongly believes the death could be possibly linked with devil worship. 2 pentagrams, 5-starred figures used in Satan rituals, and the number 666 often equated with Satanism. The word murder is spelled backwards. King said his office has developed a list of suspects, quite possibly a group of kids who have been involved in devil worship. He said the suspects were identified. You know what I think it's more likely is who's ever the father of the child. Right? I mean, doesn't that just sort of sound more likely? A 14-year-old girl is pregnant. Somebody's in trouble for that one. He said the suspects were identified through physical evidence found at the house and from knowledge of their activities given to the police. Jamie Hamrick, who said she allowed Hutchins to live with her, doubted the devil worship reports. She faulted hysteria from a recent television program about Satanism. King said some 50 items of evidence have been turned over to the state crime laboratory. King said he spoke with Satan worshiper who explained the KKK letters by saying kids make up their own stuff. An autopsy Monday in Little Rock showed that Hutchins was, and this is the slang on the next page here. There, this part down here. She was killed by a single gunshot to the head from a small caliber weapon. The report said she died sometime between late Thursday and early Saturday. The police said she had not been sexually assaulted. Hutchins' body was found Saturday afternoon in a house 2 miles west of State Highway 165. just south of Interstate 40. She was partially covered with boards. Even with the evidence, King said he is not assured of a quick arrest. We've still got a little ways to go, he said. King said the state police had joined the investigation. Let's see. Let me go back to the previous page. Come on. Yeah, and by the way, you can expect your notebooks quicker now if you order them, because I can print them, the labels off right here. So I'm just going to start doing them right after the show is over and just next day get them out. You know, for a while I would wait till there was about 15 of them and take them to the post office. And you know, let's see, hit that like button. 1.1 thousand in chat. Only half of you have taken the time to do it. Yes, everybody, it's so easy to do. Just hit the like button, even if you use your nose to do it. I know some of you don't have hands. I'm aware of that. I'm trying to give you other options. Yes, it's free. Yeah, I mean, it doesn't cost a nickel. Jamie Hamrick said she didn't like Brandy Don Hutchins, but allowed the 14-year-old Clarksville girl to live with her to offer some sanctuary. I didn't like her. I didn't like her a whole lot, but I felt sorry for her. I just wanted to let her be around stable people. Hutchins was found dead Saturday with single gunshot wound to the forehead. The pregnant teenager was found in the cellar of a home bearing several satanic symbols. Hamrick said Hutchins had told her that she came from a broken home with an alcoholic father and a mother who abandoned her. Told so many stories. It was sad. I felt bad for her, Hamrick said. She told me she went to the Clarksville school every now and then, and she told me she was a cheerleader. She told so many stories I didn't know what to think. Hamrick said the last time she saw Hutchins was the Sunday before her death. She said her son spoke to Hutchins Thursday evening and asked if she would come back and stay. I feel like now I should have told her she could have come back over and spent the night. I feel so bad. I can't believe she's dead. Giggly in Call to Aunt. Johnson County Sheriff Eddie King said Hutchins was last heard from at 11 p.m. on Thursday when she called an aunt. Her aunt told the police that Hutchins was giggly and didn't act like herself. Hamrick, who lives about an eighth of a mile west of an abandoned house where the body was found, said the girl lived in her home for several weeks, had a thing for her 16-year-old son. I think she had a crush on boys with dark hair and dark skin, like her son Hamrick said. He just wanted to be friends. She wanted to be more. Hamrick said she was surprised to learn that the girl was pregnant. She asked her son if he had ever had sex with the girl, and after first denying it, he later said he did. Oh boy. Man, that's where you should be really kind of focused in right there, because he had sex with her. That means her saying she was pregnant, he would believe that. Oh man, this is crazy. All right, so let me, because I do know one other element here, and this is why it means something. Doesn't have to mean something, but it seems likely. Hamrick said she asked authorities if there were any way to determine. Come on, got to go back to the other page again. There you go. To determine the father of the unborn child, and was told only that an autopsy would be done. That was 88, man. That would have been tough. Hamrick said she met Hutchins in Clarksville about 4 months ago and later allowed her to stay in her home. So this lady allowed Hamrick, or allowed Hutchins to stay in her home, even though she had a kid, and her kid and Hutchins had sex, I guess, apparently. Hamrick said she had no idea who killed the girl. I don't believe she had any friends, she said. Every time there was a party around, no one wanted her to come. See, now all of a sudden this Hamrick lady's sort of bashing. Hamrick said she had no idea who killed the girl. I don't believe she had any friends, she said. Every time there was a party around, no one wanted her to come. Jeez. Hamrick and others living in the area where the body was found said the abandoned house has been a gathering place for area youths who went there to smoke and drink. You know, old house. You know how old houses are, Hamrick said. They just attract kids. She also, who is Hamrick though? Does anybody remember who she is? I know it's the mother of that other kid. Is this just some lady? Jamie Hamrick said she didn't like Brandy Don Hutchins, but she didn't like her. Wow. So now I'm just going to read this again. Didn't like Brandy Don Hutchins, but allowed the 14-year-old Clarksville girl to live with her to offer some sanctuary. I didn't like her a whole lot, but I felt sorry for her. I just wanted to let her be around stable people. Hutchins was found dead Saturday with a single gunshot wound to the forehead. Hamrick said Hutchins had told her that she had come from a broken home. All right, here, let's see. Jamie Hutchins, who said she allowed... Let me go back up to here again. So it's Hamrick is what we're looking for, right? King said his office has developed a list of suspects, quite possibly. Jamie Hamrick, who said she allowed Hutchins to live with her, doubted the devil worship reports. She faulted hysteria. So that's just some random lady, right? Yeah, this is getting kind of weird now. Because now you've got this lady who's willing to even say she didn't even like her, even after she's murdered. And her son had sex with the person who's dead, who claims she was pregnant. Or is pregnant. We don't, at this point we don't know here. And with her son, and she's 14. Man, you could see something really bad happening here. Doesn't that just sound really ominous? You could just see something going on where you don't want to be tied to this girl. She's 14, you're 16, she's pregnant, she's going to have it. I just think kids write that, scoffs at satanic worship. I just think kids write that around, she said, referring to the satanic symbols. Kids are just freaking out on it. I don't believe anything like that is going on over there. Harvey Hill, who lives west of Hamrick, said, what was her name again? Her full name? Sorry. I'm gonna look this up. Jamie Hamrick in Cole Hill, is that right? This would have been 1988. So let's say that lady was 30. She'd be, 50 something. 55? That sound right? No, she'd be 60 something. I mean, that'd be, yeah. Let's see. How about 62? Does that make sense? Would a 62-year-old now have a 16-year-old in 1980? So hold on, let me think. 12 plus 22 is 34. She'd be 34 if she was born in 88. So then you add about 30, and she'd be 64. But let's just add 88. She had a 16-year-old kid. So that'd be, if you just went back and let's say she was 16 or so, she'd probably be 34 plus, let's just say 20 would be 54. So if she was 21 when she had her kid, she'd be 55 now. Yeah. No, wait, 21 when she gave birth. You think they'd be 70 something? Oh, you were 17 in 88? Oh, I'm just not doing the math right then. Let's see. If I'm adding 30, 22 plus 14 is 36. So you'd be, if you were born in 88, you'd be 36 years old, right? No, it'd be 34 years old. If you're born in 88, you'd be 35 right now if you're born in 88. Okay, but this kid was already 16 in 88. So you got to add that to it. And then maybe add 20 to that. Yeah, so she'd be like 70 something. Wait, is Jamie Hamrick a woman? Yes, a she. Who said she allowed Hutch? $1888, my mom is 75, okay. "14-year-old Clarksville." Unfortunately, there's a few people with that name. What about like 67? Is that possible? Yeah, the kid's born in 72, so I did 67. If you were 17, that would work, right? Ish, something like that. Let's see. I'm just trying to. There's a whole bunch of Jamie Hamricks, though. That's the problem. Hamrick. Hickman, Clinton, Hickman, South Fulton. Yeah, I don't know. I'm not going to spend any more time looking for that. Just want to see where it was. See if we can find that little shed thing. There's a picture of it right here. Just found in that. Meanwhile, and we're getting to the... Meanwhile, the area minister said Monday they plan to address the death in coming sermons, but are withholding judgment on the allegations of Satan worship. The Reverend Jack English of the Clarksville Church of Christ, where Hutchins attended services with her foster parents, said he is awaiting confirmation of area youth's alleged participation in Satan worship. But he said Satan is in the area, but I think he works in more effective and certain ways than that. Funeral arrangements were pending. All right. And then the next day in the paper, Takes a second to load up here. Thank you, not your average chick. And that's her real name, everybody. I wasn't just calling her chick. I know that you could... All right, here it is. Hey, thanks, Simple Life Days. The state medical examiner's office has determined Brandy Don Hutchins was not pregnant at the time of her death. But see, somebody that was told that she was pregnant would believe it and then have killed her. Other than that, she wouldn't be dead right now. If I believe that, just my opinion, that if Hutchins had never said she was pregnant, that she'd still be alive right now. I mean, maybe not today. I mean, it's years later right now, but I mean, she would have been alive then. Hutchins, 14, of Clarksville, was shot to death sometime between late Thursday and early Saturday. That was the surprise in the autopsy. But an abandoned house about 2 miles west of State Highway 164 near... Oh, okay. So State Highway... The State Medical Examiner's Office. Hutchins, 14, of Clarksville, was shot to death sometime between late Thursday and early Saturday. 2 hunters found her body Saturday afternoon beneath an abandoned house about 2 miles west of State Highway 164 near Interstate 40. Okay. Okay, there's 164. I guess. But 40's over here, so how would that work? Does it continue on down here, maybe? Maybe they meant 64. 2 miles west of State Highway. Yeah, so they have it up here. God, man, this is brutal. And that was me with the calculator again. I just want to see where it is here. Did they have 164? That's where we're seeing it. Yeah, I don't know how to figure this out because 164 is up here. I don't know if it continues somewhere. Don't know. Yeah, it's Arkansas. But 164 is up here. And then it said, the way they described it was 2 miles west of State Highway 164. So that would be, well, maybe, well, I mean, but it's hard to determine because, 40's down here. So near Interstate 40. So they're saying west of, so maybe if we go over here and then go west and then down, I mean, that's just so random. Maybe there's a better description later. Who knows? Yeah, 64 and 40 makes sense, but not 164. King said authorities had believed Hutchins was pregnant based on test results found in her belongings and from statements she had made to others. So she wanted somebody to believe she was pregnant, like, guess what, the 16-year-old that she really liked and who she probably said, "Oh, I'm pregnant, I'm pregnant." And then she ends up dead and the mom doesn't like her. I mean, I know that sounds... I mean, I can't think of any more sort of basic thing than that. I know that's speculation, but doesn't that sound pretty likely-ish, at least? You know, King said the medical examiner's findings have not changed the thrust of the investigation. He said he and his deputies are still questioning suspects who may have been involved in satanic worship. Officers found 4 satanic symbols and the letter KKK written in the chalk at the house where Hutchins' body was found. The sheriff said Monday that suspects in the slaying include a group of youths who are rumored to have practiced devil worship in Johnson County. And then this is this is November 16th. And still, so we're right around the same time. Jerry Hutchins, 44, of Clarksville, the girl's stepfather and legal guardian, said he drove his daughter to the house about 5 p.m. Thursday. She told him that she had never been at the house. Wow, okay, now we gotta go through this one. Jamie Dawn Hamrick scoffed at notions of satanic worship. That's the same lady. So now I have her full name. Let me try this again. Can't be more than 2 of those. I have one that's 65. 65 doesn't really work though, does it? I mean, if you were like 15, would that work? If you had a kid? No. Sheriff Eddie King of Johnson County said Monday he believed the girl's death could be linked to devil worship. Her fully clothed body was found Saturday. She had been shot once in the forehead with a small caliber bullet. Miss Hamrick said she believed the idea of Satanism was prompted by a recent television show. You know how old houses are. Oh, and by the way, thank you up there to Lisa Wilkerson. King said his office had developed a list of suspects, quite possibly a group of kids who have been involved in devil worship. Yeah. I'm getting tired of the devil worship. Miss Hutchins' body was found in the root cellar of a house, and authorities found markings on the wall of the house, including a pentagram. I just think kids write that around. Yeah. Okay, Jerry Hutchins of Clarksville, her father, the girl's or stepfather. And I mean, that's interesting. Another, stepfather and legal guardian said he drove his daughter to the house at about 5 p.m. Thursday. She told him that she had never been at the house before and that she was going to attend a birthday party for her and her boyfriend's sister. She turned 15 on November 5th. So what house did you drop her off at? Hutchins said his daughter told him about a week ago that she was pregnant and that she planned to tell her 17-year-old boyfriend at the party. Well, wasn't he 16? But unless it's a totally different person. He also said she told him that she and her boyfriend were going to drive to Ottumwa, Iowa, to get her mother to sign papers so the two could get married. Oh boy. And who's the mother? Are we talking about Hamrick at this point? Is that who we're talking about? He also said she told him that she and her boyfriend were going to drive to, well, I don't know, that sounds different, Ottumwa, Iowa, to get her mother to sign papers so the two could get married. I told her I wasn't going to sign until she was 18 years old, Hutchins said. Yeah, that's not looking good. Thank you, Jessica Schubach. Interesting case wave. Aren't they all interesting, though? You know? I don't know. What do you guys think? I think there's got to be something. The stepfather is sort of interesting, but not. I think it's not as interesting as the young kid who likely was told that, you know, she was pregnant and he would think it was his, and the mom's like, "You're gonna ruin his life," and she doesn't even like her, but was allowing her to live there. So Satanism was discounted. A Clarksville teenager killed by a shot to the forehead may not have been killed by real Satanistic, authorities said. The body of Brandy Don Hutchins, 14, was found in the root cellar of an abandoned house near Coal Hill on Saturday. Actually, let's see if that works. If we go Coal Hill. Oh, wow, it's way over here. That's where she's from. So now maybe this makes sense if we... There's 164. And what was the other one? And 40. Okay. So now we might be able to find this sucker. There's 164. And then... What was the other term on there? Hey, thanks, Billy Juliana. What was the relation to 40? I just said near Highway 40, right? So there's 40. Okay, there it is. 40, 164, and then 2 miles west. Okay, well, we can do this now. Here we go. Okay, that's 2 miles west. And they said near... Yeah, it could be anywhere. So more sort of in this area though, right? Wherever it was. So somewhere right around in that area. There's Coal Hill, 2 miles west of 164. And then sort of near Highway 40, they said. Yeah, it could be anything. It's also really old. I mean, like, that happened in 1988. Some of those things probably have been knocked down by now, you'd think. Graffiti in the house included a pentagram, the number 666, the word murder spelled backwards. Okay, we are on the verge of an arrest. Okay, right. Going to the next one here. Satanistic worship evident in Johnson County killing. A single gunshot to the forehead killed 14-year-old. And what? This is on the 27th. So now it's weird how it says evident. This is way later than that last one. So how are they coming up with this? The last article was the 16th. This one's the 27th. Now they're saying, oh, they're bringing it back up again. Let's see. There's more information down here. Miss Hutchins had told friends and her father she was pregnant. However, the autopsy showed she wasn't. She was not attending school at the time, but was on a waiting list to attend a school for emotionally disturbed adolescents. The Reverend Jack Glaze, who runs a school at the New Life Christian Center, said, I don't know what length they've been involved or how they've gone into it, but we're getting the calls that they are involved in it. Since the girl's death, authorities have searched at least 2 other abandoned houses where they suspected satanic activities. We've been to a couple of abandoned houses where people have told us that rituals have existed. Wofford said he has heard stories about devil worship and blah, 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 blah. I'm not, this sounds like I need to be playing some of this. Is somebody out there? Is somebody out there? Batch it. That's not her. Sheriff lacks evidence needed to close book on teenage slang. In his own mind, Johnson County Sheriff Eddie King says he knows who murdered Brandy Don Hutchins of Clarksville. Brandy's body was found November 12, 1988, under abandoned house near Johnson County seat. Finding enough evidence in the ongoing investigation to charge someone with murder has been another story. I think we've got it solved. I think we've just solved it too. I almost would bet you money it's right in that area, that those people that we just mentioned. I think we've got it solved. I think we just don't have enough evidence at this point in time. It's a bad position. It makes you feel bad. I'm almost positive we know who done it. We've followed every lead we've ever had. A couple of hunters found Brandy's body in the root cellar of the house 8 miles north of Clarksville. The state medical examiner's office said the 14-year-old died from a single .22 caliber gunshot wound between the eyes fired at close range. The shooting occurred sometime around November 10th, the office reported. Her body was found covered with boards and dirt. The murder received a lot of media attention, not because of the death itself, but the circumstances surrounding it. Found inside the house were 4 satanic symbols. While King said authorities are still not certain whether Satanism played any role at all in the murder, prosecuting attorney John Bynum of Russellville is convinced it did not. There was a good deal of energy directed in that fashion, Bynum said, but it's just a pure deal murder. Well, that's kind of obvious. Name one satanic, ritualistic thing you've ever heard where it involves shooting somebody between the eyeballs. Yeah, normally it's just some weird shit, like with knives and stuff like that. Like, you don't ever see that. There was a good deal of energy directed in that fashion, Bynum said, but it's just a pure deal murder. She knew or may have been killed by a person we're not aware of. I think it's somebody she knew, obviously. I think it has to do with her saying she was pregnant. How could it not be that? Hey, look at that. They got 4 notebook orders. Those are the only PayPals I got. I did refund a PayPal today, though. Let's see. King said experts in the field of Satanism said it was unlikely that Brandy's death was a satanic killing. I would say there are probably at least 3 different suspects, Bynum said. It's a big leap between somebody being a suspect and someone being the accused. Some of these people, one in particular, has set up a strong alibi, and there is other evidence known to the investigator that would confirm that alibi. Jerry Hutchins, 44, of Clarksville, Brandy's stepfather and legal guardian, said he drove his daughter to the house. So the house where she was killed, about 2 days before her body was found. He said she told him there was going to be a birthday party for her at the house. Man, that makes him seem a little guilty. I mean, he's a suspect then too, right? I mean, she drove him to the house? He drove her to some weird dilapidated shack that looked like this and said there was going to be a party, and he said, oh, that's cool. Ew, Jesus. About 2 days before her body was found, he said she told him there was going to be a birthday party for her at the house. She also said that she wasn't going to tell her 17-year-old boyfriend about her pregnancy. No, she was going to. The state medical examiner's office determined she wasn't pregnant. Bynum said evidence indicates there was some planning involved in the murder. She was evidently shot underneath the house. Oh, wow. And there was an indication that a little depression had been dug out of the ground and she was covered up with boards, Bynum said. That suggests to me that it was not a random killing. It suggests to me that it was a killing performed by someone who was familiar with that location and may have lived in that neighborhood. At this point, it would take a confession or a statement of a person who claimed to be an eyewitness and who would give us information that we could verify as being true and correct. So somebody went underneath this house, dug a depression, shot her. How'd they get her in there underneath the house to do that? It's crazy. Let's see. Got one more here. I don't see mag in here. Where is there a mag? Like our mag? The moderator mag? How come I don't see her? Yeah, I don't see any. There's no mag. I can't see one mag inside here. No thanks, Matt. There will be no trigger warnings. Yeah, who are you referring to up there? Jessica? You said, I agree, mag. Who? Who's that? You meant to say quietly frozen, but you called her Mag? I don't think I could think of two names that sound any more different. See how mean Gray is? I'm just saying. I mean... Uh-oh. You just threw me in prison? What'd I do this time? What'd I do this time? Uh-oh. Poor me, poor me. You know, I gotta tell you, it just sucks. What do you mean you're lost, Brenda? How did you get lost? We've only been covering a whole bunch of stuff very clearly the whole show. Hey, you guys are the one that threw me in prison, you know. The trolls like it when you leave me in prison a long time. They're like, let's all, what they said was, the trolls said was, here's what would be really cool. If he gets put in prison and nobody bails him out. Right? But you guys are the ones that threw me in there, not me. Hey, no bail interrupting interest. Billy Juliana. And that's a 0. That's a -5, -3. And then we got Tosh, no bail. That's -8. And then for Magazine in jail. Okay, that's... now we're at -3 with Jessica. So thank you, Tosh, Billy Juliana. Then we got Olivia Dorado. That gets us to, I think, even now. And then Cindy Lean get me a half Snicker. Thank you very much. I like Snickers. And Betty Smith, I just hate to see Gray in prison. That'll work. Now we're at plus something. We're on our way out the door at this point. Then Una got me the other half of the Snickers. And Scoutin' Dude got me another cup of Joe. So I'm going to put Scoutin' Dude in there for the 2.
Bail for Gray.
And quietly frozen bail. Got me the hell out of there. And then also Joel Sane, ramen noodles. Oh, man. I like ramen noodles with sriracha sauce. You guys ever eat that? It's good stuff. Mike D Experience, Lori Will, Joel Sane.
Cup of Joe.
And Brandy Ivy and John Dunn. Okay, I'm going to get out of prison now. Thanks, guys. Thanks, trolls. Yeah. Isn't that the same thing that Brian Enton put out, Jerry? Just a 2-page thing? Man, you guys got me a hotel and a prime rib dinner. You guys are awesome. Thank you. Yeah, only the best. Trying to open up one last article in here from 1988, November 18th. Strip search, oh boy. Well, we know Zozo's vacationing, so, you know, she's probably, who knows what's going on out there. She randomly sent a picture out. She's like on top of a building somewhere. Here, I'm just going to read this one. This is from January 13th. Oh, is that underneath the house right there? Shows the cellar where the body of 14-year-old Brandy Don Hutchins was found. Oh, wow. So that's underneath the home right there. How crazy that is. He's bent over. Those are the 2x8, probably joists or whatever, underneath the home. This is the cellar down here. Brandy Don Hutchins was found murdered in an abandoned house in Coal Hill on November 12, 1988. She had been shot once, execution style, in the forehead, above her right eye. She was 14 years old, and her killer was never found. Her father, now 78 and living in Lamar, said he thinks about her daily. Okay, so he's 78, her dad. She wouldn't mind nobody, he said. She just got off and stay gone for 2 or 3 days, and I wouldn't know where she was at. It's been 34 years. I've been thinking about it for 34 years. Hutchins was found with a positive pregnancy test in an abandoned home. So what she did was she somehow got a positive test and was going to use it to, tell somebody about that. Here's what's possible, that she was going to meet somebody there just as a normal rendezvous and then surprised him with that, and it freaked him out. She wouldn't mind nobody, said. He just... Okay. Hutchins was found with a positive pregnancy test in an abandoned home. The inside of the home had been vandalized with a pentagram. It was 1988, the height of satanic panic, and rumors and media headlines took off from there. The satanic panic was a moral trend in the 1980s that spread across the United States on the back of over 12,000 substantiated cases of satanic ritual abuse. Hey, thanks, D Smiles. Parents wrung their hands over satanic influences in media, such as Dungeons and Dragons, film, music, and comic books. Hutchins found slain amid the symbols, along with the word red rum, murder spelled backwards. And according to reports by the Associated Press and the Arkansas Gazette, the fear of the time seemed very real to Arkansans. Eddie King, who was Johnson County Sheriff at the time, is quoted many times in articles by the Associated Press about the satanic connection to the case. I'm really surprised by the number of kids that tell me they have dabbled in it, he said in an article. They listen to the music, devil type. They take that type of music and they feel like they get meaning out of it. They're trying to interpret the music. King went on to say the department had searched at least 2 other abandoned buildings where suspected devil worshipping had occurred. We found candles and blood, he said in the article dated November 16th. It really appears there was some kind of ritual, but we don't know. See, that's a ritual. Shooting somebody in the forehead isn't. They probably wanted to make it look like that, though. In another article from the same day, which appeared in the Gazette, Malvern police received 200 calls before Halloween from parents who heard rumors of devil-worshipping cult that was going to kidnap a child for human sacrifice. King told the media Hutchins was killed in the cellar, and it was difficult to know the exact time of death because she was found in a low, cool place. He appealed to the public for help. We need something on this one, he said. Absolutely need something on this one. The least important thing that a person might not think is important might help us. Another man named Cletus, in an article by the Associated Press, told reporters he knew of satanic rituals at the abandoned home where Brandy was found. He said they were teenage pot parties. Let's see. Julie Millard, Brandy's cousin, began a Facebook page, Justice for Brandy Don Hutchins, in 2020, still seeking answers for the death of her cousin. Her body was found after some hunters found a purse near the abandoned house and began to investigate further, Millard said. Someone had thrown boards on top of her body in order to hide her. Brandy was my cousin, and to this day, no one has been charged with her murder. There are many rumors and many stories have been told about what brought this about and who actually killed Brandy. There were satanic drawings inside the house, which led some to believe Brandy was offered as sacrifice. There was also a positive pregnancy test found inside her purse. This led police to believe that Brandy's boyfriend killed her because she was pregnant with his child. However, the autopsy report, but see, that's not relevant. This, however, shouldn't be in here. See, it would just be him. You don't see the baby. Like if somebody, like a woman gets pregnant and they tell their boyfriend, "Hey, I'm pregnant," you can't actually see it, right? It's just. So if she told him that she was pregnant, it would have exactly the same effect, because she was even going to prove it with a fake positive birth. I mean, I guess you can maybe get those positives sometimes. I don't know. Maybe it's a real test. Can they accidentally, for some other reasons, become, a false positive? I don't know. By November 18th, 1988, the Associated Press was reported that white rituals may have occurred at the house. King told the Associated Press that Hutchins wasn't pregnant, but her false pregnancy test may have still contributed, there you go, to her death. According to an article, Hutchins' father, Jerry, said he drove his daughter to the abandoned house. He allegedly said she told him she had never been there before, but that she was going to attend a birthday party for her and her boyfriend's sister. She had just turned 14 days before. According to the article, Brandy told... There's the shed right there. Brandy told her father she was pregnant and planned to tell her 17-year-old boyfriend at the party. She told him the two were planning to get married, but needed to drive to Iowa to get her mother to sign papers first. See, I don't believe that. This sounds nuts. I wish I could go back and do it differently, Jerry said, but in the end, I think it was covered up. I have multiple examples of how police failed, and I don't know if they are still working on the case or not. They don't tell me nothing. I think I ought to be in the know, but they don't ever tell me nothing. Jerry didn't put a lot of stock in the satanic ritual theory either. I don't think I'm going to read through the rest of it. It's just kind of... Let me see this part. There's so many leads to follow, he said. On top of that, King said one of Brandy's family members misremembered the date for a meal she had with their girl shortly before her death, causing the investigation to mistakenly rule out suspects based on timing. The medical examiner was giving us a day of death that did not correspond with this meal she had with a family member, he said. We had interviewed all these people who might have done it, but they all had alibis for the original date we had. A few months later, the family members said they thought they may have had the date wrong, so we had to go back and get new statements. That slowed things down, further complicating things. King said the prosecutor at the time insisted on having the murder weapon before pressing charges. I felt we had enough evidence to at least charge a couple people, but the prosecutor wanted the murder weapon, which we never could find, he said. We had bullet samples, but back then they didn't have DNA like they have now. A medical examiner did scrape under her nails, but they tell me they haven't been able to get anything out of it. Well, it doesn't sound like there wasn't a battle. The guy just came up and shot her in the forehead. I have spoken with everyone I know of, and no one seems to want to help, Millard said. She was a child. If she had been a child of a wealthy member of our community, I feel like her murder would have been in jail a long time ago. But to many people, she's just a nobody. There are many people who love Brandy very much and want to see her murder brought to justice. In my opinion, the only thing Brandy really wanted was to be loved, to feel love and acceptance. And it didn't seem to matter where this love and acceptance came from or from whom. Yeah, well, there you go. That's crazy. So that's the story. Isn't that a sad one? See, there's a lot like that. It's, it's pretty interesting, right? I mean, she's 14 years old. She claimed that she was pregnant, even had a pregnancy test, was going to tell her boyfriend. Apparently there was all these plans of getting married and everything. It just seems kind of convoluted. Then her father says that he is the one that dropped her off at this weird dilapidated shack because she said it was a birthday party for her and her boyfriend's sister. And when they found the purse, hunters found the purse that led them to investigate. Then they found her underneath the house in a cellar in a depression that was covered by wood. And it looks purely intentional. She was shot in the forehead, and it turns out she wasn't pregnant after the autopsy. She was living at the house with a 16-year-old, apparently. Maybe he wasn't just 16. You wonder if he was actually 17, but the mother said 16 because then maybe that would be legal. But apparently that kid had sex with her, and maybe that could have led to it. We also have the weirdness of the stepdad dropping her off there. So, there you go. Weird, crappy story. One of those ones that probably if it was now, too, it probably wouldn't even get that much attention just because of, you know, the situation. Small town. What do you mean the boys on the track? What are you talking about? I didn't mention the boys on the track. Father or stepfather, whichever he is, killed her and made up the pregnancy story to frame the boyfriend. Maybe. Where did he get the test? I mean, that could be the case, though, what you just said. You know what I'm saying? Oh, you don't want Mary Lou to sing for you, Matt, do you? But happy birthday, Matt Eskimo. Anyways, I got to get to this next part of the. I got to get to the Idaho 4 real quick. Oh, jeez. I don't even know you, Matt. Have you been around for a while? Never seen you before.
Oh, Matt, he's a regular.
Oh, really? I've never seen him ever type in the comments in my life. But you're going to sing happy birthday for him anyways, Mary Lou?
Yeah, sure, I'll sing happy birthday for him.
Wow, you seem so amenable. Like, you're normally just, you know, hard to get to do something.
Well, why not? Why not? Happy birthday to Matt Eskimo. Happy birthday to Matt Eskimo. Happy birthday, dear Matt Eskimo. Happy birthday to you.
And many more.
Yeah. You know, here's the thing, everybody. When we give away free memberships in here, who knows who it goes to, man? Could go to trolls, could go to anybody. I don't know. But thanks, Mary Lou, for singing. Really good stuff.
Hey, thanks, Gray. I tried my best.
Yeah, I could tell. Yeah, you can hear Celine Dion there. And I wouldn't be surprised if it wasn't even that person's birthday. They're just goofing around. He's probably somebody from Reddit. They're just sitting there laughing, going, do you see that? I got him to sing happy birthday. It wasn't even my birthday. I'm the same guy that calls in. You know, it's okay, though. It just is what it is. Yeah. All right, let's get to the... somebody sent me an email. I don't have time to go through these. We're already done with the story. Oh, well. What's the difference in the articles that you sent to what I just said? Maybe there's ones about the people on the track. Is that you that sent that? And then somebody said they sent me... That's one of the problems when people send me stuff. I have no way of... I don't know where you sent it, when you sent it, or anything like that. And I don't see it in the email. I don't know where it is. So, alright, here is one of them right here. Bryan Kohberger followed all 3 female Idaho victims on Instagram.
Kohberger, quote, slid into one of the girls' DMs.
Slid. Is that just sort of like this cool term? Oh, yeah, slid into the DMs, man. Bryan Kohberger, the man accused of killing 4 Idaho college students in their beds last November, followed all 3 of the female victims on Instagram. Authorities have not said if the victim knew Kohberger, but suspects now deleted Instagram account, which was reviewed by people before it was removed. See, but here's the thing: is people, right? You know, these weren't even noticed for a while, so people can just make Bryan Kohberger accounts and then like these, you know, just like people just want attention out there, so they make these fake accounts and do it. So I hope they're not being suckered in by this. In late October, an account that authorities have believed was Bryan Kohberger sent a message to one of the female victims. That one sounded kind of legit because they're saying law enforcement sources. When the user didn't hear back, he reportedly sent her several additional DMs. Basically, it was just him saying, hey, and, you know, he didn't respond or anything. Idaho murder suspects Bryan Kohberger followed 3 female victims on Instagram before stabbing. Same story on Fox News there. Idaho murder suspect Bryan Kohberger twice ate vegan pizza at restaurant where 2 victims worked. Cops have quizzed staff and collected surveillance footage. So that's pretty interesting. So he ate vegan, but people were saying it was a vegan restaurant. No, you can eat vegan wherever, you know, like every single pizza place there is has a vegan menu there. Okay? Ah, geez, Melanie. Everybody said the same thing. It wasn't just you, okay? Yeah, we all said, yeah, he may have eaten there many times because he can eat there. They have a vegetarian menu there. Okay? Everybody does. Sure, that's possible. But to say that they looked it up and it was a vegan restaurant, that's total bullshit. It's not a vegan restaurant. No, Melanie. You said it was a vegan restaurant. That's all you said. You're incorrect, Melanie. Yeah, all right, let's see. People, we all thought it's possible he went and ate there. Right? Reaches for bailment. What do you mean? I didn't do anything wrong. No, you disagreed with me, Gray. Yeah, I know, Matt. And guess what, Matt? Happy birthday, Matt. I realize you're a troll. So see you later. I don't know if they clean the pans. Yeah, that's why I didn't really want to have Mary Lou sing that guy's birthday, because I didn't think it was that really that person's birthday. Who even says it like that? Can you give me a shout out? It's my, you know, it was ridiculous. See what I'm talking about? The trolls are always abound in here, and everybody always wants to say, "See, Gray, I said." Yeah, you said it was a vegan restaurant. And I said, no, it's not a vegan restaurant. But sure, he could have eaten there because restaurants have a vegetarian menu. Yeah. I don't know, Melanie. I don't know. We're gonna have to work on that, because you just told me up there that I didn't agree that he ate there. Now, there might be a show where when it was first said, it was like, yeah, maybe. I don't know. I mean, it doesn't seem like that would be something I would disagree with the people saying it's a vegan restaurant where they worked, so he went there. Well, it definitely isn't a vegan restaurant, but they have a vegetarian menu where he can eat something that they serve. I think because vegan's sort of a new age kind of thing, new thing, Ada. I don't think there's as many vegetarians back in the 80s. I don't know. I don't know, man. I wish the people that are always criticizing and harsh in here would see the comments that just pop in to the chat. You know, the ones that when I respond to, they go, "See how mean," and it just really isn't the truth. Yeah, probably won't get one, Bobby. Gotta buy one. If you buy one, sure, man. All over it. So maybe Bobby is in the list. Let's see if he bought one. Hey, look at that, Bobby Swain. You'll get one, Bobby. I'll make sure to write something real nice in there, Bobby. What are you gonna do with it? Use it to set fires? No, there's just the freak pen option. I'm not sure. I'm trying to figure out how to get my image back on the screen. Don't see it. Oh well. Alright, Idaho murder suspect Bryan Kohberger dined in a Greek restaurant, the Mad Greek there, where two of the students he is accused of killing worked as waitresses. It has emerged. Madison Mogan and Zena Kernodle were stabbed to death in their off-campus home in November, along with two other University of Idaho students. A former employee has now revealed that Kohberger, who was arrested and charged with the killings, had visited the restaurant in the run-up to their deaths at least twice and ate vegan pizza. The revelation is the latest in a series that suggests Kohberger may have been stalking the students. On Thursday, it emerged an Instagram account seemingly associated with the suspect had followed three of the victims, Mogan, Kernodle, and Kaylee Gonzalez. Isn't that interesting? If those are the only three, because then the other two roommates, I mean, what are the odds at that point that they weren't killed? And those are the two that he wasn't following. He wasn't focused in on them. The three girls were killed alongside Ethan Chapin on November 13th after an intruder in a mask entered the house in the night and attacked them with a fixed blade knife. So that's them right there, Madison and Zena. Hey, thank you, Kathy Shiflett. The former employee told people that Kohberger's visits to the restaurant were not suspicious, but they were noteworthy because he wanted to be sure that no animal products might have come in contact with his food. So maybe they did do something with the pan there. In late December, a relative told the New York Post Kohberger is OCD about his eating habits and forced his family to buy new pots that have not been used to cook meat. So there you go, Melanie. They probably had to use different pots and pans. I wonder how he would do that. Would he bring in his own pan and say, hey, can you use this pan? It's ridiculous. It was above and beyond being vegan. His aunt and uncle had to buy new pots and pans because he would not eat. Yeah, earlier in January, the Latah County Jail in Idaho said it would try to accommodate his dietary preference. Ah, it's bullshit. But was not going to buy new pots and pans. Well, good for them. All I can say right now is that we just all deeply saddened by the loss of both Maddie and Zana, the restaurant owner Jackie Fisher told Fox News. It's not clear if either of the girls served Kohberger during any of his visits to the restaurant. An investigator confirmed to People that authorities are aware of those visits and have interviewed staff at the restaurant. They have also reportedly requested surveillance footage from both the restaurant and nearby business. The Mad Greek restaurant is on Main Street in Moscow downtown area. Earlier in the week, 4 white candles, one for each victim, were placed on a table outside the restaurant. I'm just getting sick of reading this. He slid into one of the girls' DMs. Okay. So apparently this is I can't really read it very good, but there is a balance between protecting the right to a fair trial for all parties involved and the right to free expression as afforded under both the United States and Idaho Constitution to preserve the right to a fair trial. Some curtailment of the dissemination of information in this case is necessary and authorized under the law. Therefore, based upon the stipulation of the parties and with good cause, it is thereby ordered the attorneys for any interested party in this case, including the prosecuting attorney, defense attorney, and any attorney representing a witness, victim, or victim's family, as well as the parties to the above entitled action, including but not limited to investigators, law enforcement personnel, and agents for the prosecuting attorney or defense attorney, are prohibited from making extrajudicial statements, written or oral, concerning the case, except without additional comment, a quotation from or reference to the official public record of the case. Oh boy. That does sound pretty intense. Hey, Melanie, are you still there? Did they do the thing with... What did he do with the pots and the pans? When he went to the restaurant. I actually kind of am curious, because how could the restaurant accommodate him when they cook all the time? Anyways, the next part says, this order specifically prohibits any statement which a reasonable person would expect to be disseminated by means of public communication that relates... I can read it better like that, I guess. The following: evidence regarding the occurrences or transactions involved in the case, the character, credibility, reputation, or criminal record of a party, victim, witness, or identity, the performance or results of any examination or test, or refusal or failure of a person to submit an examination or test, any opinion as to the meritus of the case or the claims or defense of a party, any information a lawyer knows or reasonably should know is likely to be inadmissible as evidence in a trial, and that would, if disclosed, create a substantial risk of prejudicing an impartial trial. Any information reasonable, likely to interfere with the fair trial in the case afforded under the United States and Idaho Constitution, such as the existence of... I mean, basically, they shut it way down here. Like, they're not really going to allow anything. I mean, you can't even talk about this. Huh? What happened with Reddit? Mom was reading what Melanie wrote up there. She said, yeah, I know Melanie's a freak. I always flip her crap because she's going back and forth, and then she says, what Reddit? Did somebody say something about Reddit? up there. Reddit's the place where lonely souls go to act out their fantasies of hate. That's where they go. I watched a prison guard show. Oh, they live rent-free in my head. Ooh. He did not follow them. I screenshot his Instagram immediately, immediately after he was arrested? Okay. Which had several of... Right. See, doesn't that make more sense, Karen? Oh, I was just reading your comments above. You must have left for a while, Melanie. Because I wanted to know, did you have information on what they did with the pot? How he did get to eat at the restaurant? Because they did mention that he had a quirky request about not having anything that was used to cook meat. But I mean, at a restaurant like that, they don't really have pots and pans that... Ha! I busted. Yeah, they're not really snark. These are just... Basically, it's slander, you know? I prefer my vegetables cooked in the meat pan. I don't know if it adds any flavor to it, but yeah. It's the concept of it. I don't even see Ivan. Is he in here? Oh, there he is. That is pretty funny, Ivan. Look at Ivan right here, everybody. Come on. Oh, let's go. Where is this one? You got to give that one some credit. Vegan is native word for lousy hunter. Woo! Boom shakalaka. Come on, everybody. You got to give him some credit for that one. That one was pretty good. Yeah. Now, if you're a vegan, don't be offended by it, okay? He wasn't literally saying you can't hunt, because virtually almost none of us actually need to go out and hunt to go have a hamburger or eat a steak. Okay, here's what we're going to do now, though. Here's what we're going to do now. Alright, I'm going to try to open up my... it might crash, you guys, so get ready for it. I got to open up Adobe Premiere. Oh, it's already open. Ooh, man, it's been open this whole time, and it somehow survived. So this is what I'm working on now, because I had to redo this. So this is at Albertson's, okay? I'm not sure why that's so small like that. Oh yeah, the car just leaves the scene. And then it cuts over to, hold on. Yeah, just like that. And that didn't work. Just a second. Alright, so that was the Albertsons. Then here comes the car on the highway there. It's kind of small to you guys. Probably gonna get a crash here in a second. But see how it's moving? It's kind of tiny little car, but it's zipping through Lewiston right now. It just went over the bridge. And then it's gonna... and it has the right time. It only takes 12 minutes to get from the Albertsons to the... right where you're gonna see it here in a second. I'm kind of liking my using this animation technique here. And then right over here, boom, 12 minutes to get to right there. Then it starts heading back up north again. And so when it heads up north, that's when you're... Yeah, I'm not sure where I'm at right now. I don't have the pins turned. There it is right here. So right where we were just looking at right there is when he goes like this, and then he's going to be heading back up, and then he'd take 195, and then eventually Johnson. Now we know it's Johnson, Washington. I was actually starting to think that that made more sense. You probably heard the tone when I was saying that. But anyways, so look down here. This is Lewiston right here, and he leaves the Albertsons at 104. If you guys can, you guys remember that? He leaves Albertsons at 104. I can turn all the pins on now. See, there we go. So he was here at Cup of Joe at 12:36 and then seen on camera. Then he gets over here at Albertsons at 12:46, gets out of the car at 12:49. Then he exits the store after buying some items at 104, right? What did you call, Marlene? No, you didn't call anything. People just were saying, hey, they've corrected it, Gray, to Johnson, Washington, right? But hey, if you're the one that came up with it first, Marlene, you're the winner, okay? Da na 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 na. I'm just teasing. Yeah, a lot of people were saying, Gray, they said on the news that they verified it. So then I was like, ooh, that does kind of make more sense because it's right there, just south of the town of Pullman, right? Da-na-na-na-na-na. How about this one? What's a hoodie? That wasn't a bet for a hoodie. Come on, no way I bet on that. I wouldn't bet on that at all. I was actually thinking maybe that's true. Yeah, it does definitely made more sense, Marlene. Yeah, once somebody said, "Great, there's a Johnson right there," I was like, "Oh, yeah, wow." And then they were saying they corrected it. It kind of made sense, but it also, in some ways, I mean, it doesn't affect anything, even if it was the other one, other than a location, something may have happened. They're still missing a lot of time. So check this thing out. Watch what I was looking at earlier. So 104 is when he leaves Albertsons, right? But it only takes about 35 minutes to get from Albertsons to Johnson, Washington. So what time would that be? That would be 1:40. Let's just say 1:40, right? So it'd be 1:40 when you get to Johnson if you just left and went straight there, right? But his phone didn't ping in Johnson until 5:32. So you're missing 4 hours of time. 4 freaking hours. So that doesn't, we don't know anything then. I mean, look. I mean, look. As soon as he left Albertsons here, he could have driven way over here somewhere. He could have, let's see, if it takes, so it's a 4 hour is missing. That means he could drive an hour and a half, then like an hour and 40 minutes one direction, hour and 40 back. Maybe we'll say an hour and 30 minutes, 20 minutes to do something, then an hour and 30 minutes back, then drive the 38 minutes. Look at what? What am I looking at? What am I looking at? Oh, you're just repeating me. Man, you guys are freaking me out. So what I did was I looked and said, okay, about 70 or 80 miles he could have driven down in this area below. Well, I should have done the line right here, not up here. But down in this area, once he's down here, he could have driven 70 or 80 miles some way, and then came back, then went up to Johnson. So there's 4 hours of missing time down here. And one of the things that was interesting was while I was doing this, I created a box in an area of like where he possibly could have gone. It's a little too big and everything. And then I stumbled upon Yates here, which is another serial killer, believe it or not. And I don't know if there was enough time. However, it was 2 hours to get there, just driving the regular pace. And this is Robert Lee Yates. Okay, he's another serial killer that's killed 11 people. And then I was thinking, man, was he just on this crazy homage to serial killers? I mean, maybe he only went part way and still was like, yeah. I mean, I don't really know, but from right here to there, it is 100 miles because you have to drive like that. So that kind of took it out of the way. But I was thinking to myself, this Yates guy killed from 1975 to 98. He was like one of the longest running serial killers you could ever imagine. But this might have been his first. This group here. This Patrick Allen and Susan here, which her full name is Susan Patricia Savage. And guess what they were? Well, if you look at it, right here it says, Walla Walla, Washington, the bodies of a young man and a woman found Monday apparently shot to death in a wooded area northeast of here have been identified. The two were Patrick Oliver, 21, and Susan Savage, 22, both of Walla Walla. All right, so you got that. Then we can go on to the next one. Gunshot blamed, Walla Walla, and an autopsy performed on the bodies of 2 young Walla Walla residents found Monday in a wooded area near northeast of here has confirmed speculation that 2 died of gunshot wounds. It is not presently known what type of gun was used in the death of Patrick Oliver and Susan Savage. Items that might be evidential matter may have transported both to the Spokane County Sheriff's Crime Lab in Spokane, to the Federal Bureau of Investigation Crime Lab in Spokane, and to the FBI. The items sent to Spokane will be examined for latent fingerprints. All right, so I'm just moving forward in time here so you can get more about these two. The bodies of Oliver, 21, and Miss Savage, 22, same age, so here we are, we're in that same age range, right? Were found hidden beneath some underbrush about 20 yards from Mill Creek by relatives on July 14th. The couple had gone to the creek northeast of Walla Walla for a picnic the day before. Walla Walla County Sheriff Art Clunt said that no one had been arrested in the case. A murder investigation is a process of discarding suspects. Clunt said Wednesday that he is being deliberately vague about the investigation. As a consequence, little is known about outside the police circle about what occurred before the bodies were found. The couple went to Mill Creek area for a picnic on July 13th. Oliver, a pre-med honors student, and Miss Savage, an interior decorating graduate of Washington State University. Yeah. I mean, so it was weird when I was reading that. I was like, wow, that's the one right there in Pullman. We're lifelong friends. See, I mean, this is somebody, I'm just saying, like, this is somebody that his teacher would have been teaching about at the college he went to. I mean, this is one of the major league serial killers. Right? So it's interesting. And these students went to Washington State University. When they didn't return, relatives went looking for them. Authorities have not revealed how many times the two were shot or the kind of weapon. Relatives said Oliver was shot 3 times and Miss Savage twice. Let's see. I mean, the reason I'm bringing this is because I'm just wondering if there's like these serial killers that he was going to be paying homage to. I mean, I don't know, man. The whole Bundy thing, when he drove down there to Colorado, right next to where one of Bundy's victims were. Then he drove through Utah to get there, obviously. Apparently, though, his father, he picked up his dad at the airport And they went down there together, then went home. So that was part of their trip. Isn't that weird? So I was wondering about that on the show. I wonder if he went with him or he drove back up to Washington and then they drove across country. But now it sounds like he picked his dad up at the airport in Washington. Then they drove down to Colorado for some reason. Yeah. So here's what happened. So it says Patrick Oliver and Susan Savage were just 2 months out of college in 1975 when they set out for a Sunday afternoon swim and a picnic on Mill Creek just east of Walla Walla. At some point, the childhood friends crossed paths with another young man on a hunting trip, 23-year-old Robert L. Yates. See, here's what's interesting about this to me, is I think Kohberger was exactly the same in terms of his progression of a killer. This guy, this is likely his first killing. And he's a hunter, right? So that you can probably, you know, if sociopaths like to kill animals for just for the sake of killing something, then he's a hunter, right? Then boom, he kills 2 individuals. For Oliver Fresh, for Oliver Fresh from studies in France, and Savage, a recent graduate from Washington State University, the chance encounter marked a tragic end. For Yates, it may have been a beginning. See that? For him, it was his beginning. Yates, now 48, has told authorities that he shot and killed Oliver, 21, and Savage, 22, on that summer day 25 years ago, making them, this is an article from 2000, making them the first names on what allegedly would become a long list of lives ended by a man described by police as a serial killer. On Monday, Yates' lawyer said their client had offered to admit to 13 killings, including the long unsolved slayings of Oliver and Savage, and that the 1988 killing of a Seattle woman in Skagit County as part of the plea agreement to spare him from the death penalty. Yates sealed his plea offer by directing investigators to a body buried in his own side yard, evidence investigators missed in more than a month of searching his home. So anyways, I'm just sort of wondering if that was his, mental connection that I don't know if there's any of this shit that I'm talking about is even what was going on, but it's just interesting that, he's here and then he disappears for 4 hours. Maybe he drove over here somewhere, dumped something. He could have driven anywhere. I put this square out here and it needs to be smaller than that. Because to get here it would take him 2 hours based on the roads. You can see they don't really go straight. There's a big mountain range there. So he goes down there. We don't know where he goes for 4 hours, right? Then he drives back up. Somehow, he must be driving up this road at some point. It's kind of like an island over here. See how the river goes around? And at some point, he's likely back on 95, coming back up. However, so here's the options you have here. 4 hours. Did he go over in this area for 4 hours? But he turned his phone off just after leaving here? I don't know if his phone pinged anymore. So did he turn it off right after that? And then for 4 hours, he's over in this area? And maybe, did he go back up and collect the items that he may have dropped earlier in the morning when he was heading home after the murders? Remember, there's a 15 minutes of missing time. So he goes and gets those items. Make sure nobody's watching, gets them, gets back in his car, and then he drives somewhere. But he spends a lot of time. That is just so much time. Because right here his phone pinged at 5:32 in this general area. 5:32, to 5:36. He turned it on for a quick 4 minutes for some reason. Then he turned it off again. And then it doesn't ping again anywhere on a network of any kind until 8:30. So now you're missing another 3 hours. There's 7 missing hours later in the day. I think the 15 minutes of missing time on his immediately leaving the crime scene is important, because I think that's something you would want to do, is get rid of a knife and any sort of bloody clothing before driving into Pullman, because if you got pulled over, you're toast, right? So those 15 minutes are important. But now that he knows he doesn't have those items, he might want to then make sure that they're more secure later when he feels like the coast is clear. Nobody has any idea who he is. The police are at the crime scene. They're not looking for him currently. So he goes back out to the area and maybe gets those same items and then puts them in a more secure place, but has 7 hours of missing time. I mean, what made it so that he's driving up there and he turns his phone back on for a moment, for 4 minutes. It's weird, right? Yeah, you just love Kohberger. Oh, nice, Matt. You think he's one of the smartest? I'm surprised I haven't heard of searches of the wood areas. It's weird. Yeah. Well, I'll tell you what. Let's do some phone calls for a little bit. How about for like, half hour or something? See if it works tonight. You never know. And thanks for all the support on the channel tonight. It was cool to have support, even doing cold cases and whatever the hell we're talking about. I don't know if he's turned his phone on to check the news. It doesn't, It's only 4 minutes. Might be that he needed, because if you think about it, it's dark at 5:30. So it could have been he was driving around and he needed to get a quick bearing on which direction to be going and how far he needs to go to the next spot, something like that. But who knows? You may be right. No, we didn't talk about those. I mean, we brought it up on the show yesterday that he had Walmart, right? Didn't he? He went to Walmart, right? Is there more information on the Walmart tag, like what was in the Walmart receipt? Because it was mentioned in the yesterday's, I believe it was in the search warrant. Thanks, Jamie. I don't know, must have been freaking out, Janet. For sure. Where is this, Melanie? I don't have that information. I don't know. Every restaurant has vegan menu. Every one of them. And that place that he went to wasn't a vegan restaurant. It was just, you can order something. A vegetarian pizza, I don't think he took I-70. Yeah. He was down here. I mean, what do you mean I-70? Where is I-70? That doesn't even make any sense. What? Oh, you mean when you went to Colorado? You must be on Rewind or something. I don't know what you're talking about. Are you on Rewind, Sack and Fox Nanny? Yeah. The I-70 from down in Colorado is what you're saying, right? I mean, I know there was an what was it, 80? Shit, now I can't even remember. Right out of, what was the name of that one that was right here? Yeah, 8 there. I think he was holding the knife as he exited the house and didn't realize that he had left the sheath until... Yeah. And that's probably why he went back at around 9 in the morning. He went back again. Classical guitarist. And maybe he was going to look outside to see if the sheath fell out. He wasn't going to go back in the house. I can tell you that. I mean, that'd be nuts. Yeah, well, I don't think that's why he drove that way. I think he went that way that's way too far out of the way. I mean, that's ridiculously out of the way. He didn't go that way to avoid anything. I mean, way down to Colorado and then go up like this. I think he just did it because that's what he wanted to go do, you know. That doesn't even make any sense. Like, you're going to drive that many miles out of the way? Why not cut across somewhere else? I mean, Colorado's way down here. So you're saying Montana, Wyoming, all these other places. I mean, these are snowy, you know, places like Wyoming, Montana, North Dakota, South Dakota. I don't know. Who knows? Maybe you're right. You know what? I can't say that you're not right. Just like if you told me aliens came down, I can't tell you that's not possible. Yeah, I know it said Dickie. What isn't it was Dick's Sporting Good? I mean, what is Dickie's? Yeah, somebody just sent me the Brian Walshe searches, as if we hadn't been covering it. We covered it at the beginning of the show. You got to go back and watch. I mean, what's the importance of that?
Record.
Okay, nobody's calling in, so I'm going to stop it. We'll have to do just a call-in show pretty soon, though. So is Dickies, is that related to Dick's Sporting Goods? How do you know? He bought his black clothing there, Susan. Oh, was it locked? Oh well, somebody should have typed it in. I missed it. Well, I can get another one back up again. Hold on. I guess it was locked because I didn't want somebody else calling in when Scout and Duke called in.
Recording in progress.
No, there's another one. All right, let's try it. Got 28 minutes. Who cares if what do you mean the guy from SWAT has family from there? Who cares? What does that have to do with anything? Okay. Never heard of him. Wait, who said that? Jeez, LMM, you're getting kind of, you know, whatever.
Hello.
Hello, who's this?
Freakazoids, Grey's Anatomy of a Crime Scene. It's Joey, buddy.
What's going on, Joey? How's it going?
What's up, buddy? I'm hanging in there, man. 3 quick things, dude. The one with the 4 hours of missing time or whatever, do you think it's possible he realized his phone was on and he turned it off to try to be stealth and then got lost and just gave up and then turned it back on?
Yeah, I mean, it's weird that he turned it on just for 4 minutes. You know, it's like he's almost like you want to look at a map. Okay, I got a mile to go here, then I got to turn right. But first he had to put it in there. I don't know. I don't know. 4 minutes is kind of long, though, to do the map thing. So, you know, it could be. Maybe it was, you know, like somebody said earlier, I guess it could possibly be he was looking at the news. But, I mean, why would he do something so cavalier like that? I mean, why would you... I mean, it almost seems like he was in a... If he was trying to stay hidden that whole time, it seems like he sort of panicked about something to go turn that phone off for 4 minutes instead of... I mean, it's... Other than that, it would be stupid that he was so well hidden that whole time. Except he didn't seem to care when he was down at the Albertsons down in Lewiston. He had his phone on there. Then he must have turned it off at some point.
Right. Yeah, so I was thinking he just turned it off to be stealth and then...
Oh, yeah.
You know, and then turn it back on when he got lost. But yeah, I wanted to run something by. I remember a couple shows ago you were discussing on, you know, ideas for the show with the cold cases and, you know, flipping back and forth to the Idaho Four because you got more traffic that way or whatever. But I was thinking, man, I'm not sure if you do something like this already, but you know, all them charities you donate to with the DNA and all that. The next time they solve a case due to the DNA from whichever one you donate to, maybe you could, you know, since we're always doing these cold cases and a lot of times there's no finality, when there is a finality, maybe you can cover it from start to finish and it makes us feel like we contributed to solving the case, you know what I mean?
Well, yeah, of course I would do that. I mean, I did that in you know, I mean, especially the one in Breckenridge. We went over that whole thing, and you know, the guy that shot himself at the top, and then Armin Trout. We went over that whole thing before it even happened, and then over it again when it happened, and you know, that's what I would do once it was solved. Of course, I would come on and go over.
Yeah, it just feels like a win. You know what I mean? Because it's like a lot of these times we just always searching, man, and we never get the carrot. You know what I mean? And and there's this other thing, dude. And again, this might not have nothing to do with nothing, but there was, and again, I forget where it was at, but I saw it on the internet, of course. But I didn't dismiss it like I do most of these theories and all. But the one story was, the 2 survivors came out of the house with the phone with 911, and there was a couple walking by, and they were such in shock. The one fainted and fell.
Yeah,
but
I've heard that a million times. And I don't think
And then the other one picked up the phone?
I don't buy that at all.
Okay.
Well,
Okay.
the reason I don't buy it is because, I mean, I'm not saying it's impossible. It definitely could be the case that one of the roommates passed out, and that's why when they're on the phone they go, "Hey, somebody's passed out." But that's not what they said in their updates they gave. They said that a 911 call came in that said that an individual in the house. One of the people that ended up being killed was found on the second floor, passed out. That's what they said.
Okay. Yeah. Well, I was thinking the only reason it might have been plausible is that, like, you know, of course I'm not at the crime scene, but there likely would be blood around or whatnot, and and then they get shocked, and then they run out with just 911 on the phone, and then they drop, and then the walker by picked up the phone and was talking about the actual surviving victim fainted and said that they were passed out. And then they didn't, and then they went in the house and saw what made them, you know, freak out and pass out, and then they found the bodies. But again, it's nor here nor there, but it was just interesting to me.
Well, what's weird about it,
know what you thought about
see,
it.
the reason that people wanted to say it like that was because they were wondering, how come the girl would say, he looks like he's passed out, there'd be blood everywhere. But when we read the inside information I had, it seems really clear, and even like how it's reported that they just went, you know, they saw, I mean, Dylan heard all those sounds, was scared to come out. When she finally came out early in the morning, or not early morning, sort of later, she couldn't wait any longer. She called people to come over because she was scared that what they might see. And then, you know, when the friends came over, they found somebody, probably, maybe it was Dylan, maybe it was, I mean, we don't know which one, not Dylan.
Right. Right.
Ethan or Zaina. So we don't know which one, but they probably saw the person, and they were bloody, and they probably yelled their name, but they didn't answer. So then they told the operator, "Hey, somebody might be passed out here."
Okay.
That's what it was said in that letter that I got.
Oh, that's right.
It just seems, right. I don't know where people come up with stuff. I mean, and I argued on the show, I go, do people really just pass out all the time? And then people were like, "Oh, yeah, I pass out, So I wasn't really sure, because more people than I thought said that they might pass out. But,
right.
So I don't know.
Yeah. No, I hear you. And there could have been, from the angle she saw him, that she didn't see the blood, you know, especially if the hardwood floors and all could have blended in there, like if it was dark. But yeah, well, that's all I got, brother. I just wanted to run them by you, man. And yeah, man. I think if we get one of them cases solved from the DNA that you donate to them companies, man, that would be cool to review that.
Yeah, well, apparently the Intermountain Forensics, they fixed whatever problem they had, and so things are going to start speeding up now.
Oh,
that's what Misty told me. So we'll see how that goes. But yep, I don't have any ability to speed anything up myself. It's just money.
No. I'm just saying, if it comes out, like, you know, one of the previous cases you covered, and you donated to that very charity that found the DNA to solve the case, it's like you're connected, like you donated to it. So you're, you know, even though you don't know what dollar went to what to solve that particular case, you still donated to that company, and they solved that case, and you were on it. So you can, you know, I don't want to say quote unquote take credit for it, but in a sense, you kind of deserve some, since you're trying to solve it through your show and through, you know, donating to the DNA. And when they find it and match it, it'd just be like cool to go through. Yeah. Hey, man,
you know what's one of the weirdest phenomenons that I have is like, yeah, we you know, there's nights where I do really well on here, and some nights are kind of average or whatever, and we bring money, and then I send all this money to the DNA cases. But whenever we have like Colleen on, or we're talking about those things, those are the slowest nights that I ever have. When Dr. Colleen Fitzpatrick and Misty are on, You would think that'd be that where people go, yeah, we want to keep doing this, but you know, it doesn't work out that way. So I don't really know why it's like that. Maybe because they're so interesting, nobody's thinking about that. But
right, it's
pretty
so deep,
strange.
yeah. And you know, it's like we just get spoiled. It's kind of like the drive-through mentality, like, yo, the mystery, and then boom, what's the solution? Did we solve it? And then nobody wants to go through the you know, the breaking of the eggs to find how we really do solve it. But yeah, man. All right, freakazoids, I'll let you all go, man. Great show as always, brother, and I'll be on here, man. And good stuff, buddy.
Yeah, thanks for calling in. Have a good one. Bye-bye.
I appreciate it, buddy.
Right,
be safe out there. You're the man.
That's right. All right, see you. Bye. Be safe out there. Well, you guys, 3 hours and 13 minutes. That was the only call that called in. So there we go. Shutting it down. We did get a call in. Now that was good. But maybe we'll do a show coming up just for that. Been a week or so since we've had just a caller show. Right. Hey, maybe tonight we'll give away the everything tumbler. Okay, but that's the only prize. So we got Scouting Dude, Alley 79, Terry, Doohickey with a Australian 100, thanks. Wonder Woman, then Doohickey again, thank you very much. John Dunn, Patty G007, and John Dunn was a cat eye. And then Patty G007, LMM, Nicole, Jennifer Oram, Doohickey, Quietly Frozen with a cat eye. And Doohickey again did another Australian 100. So they were responsible for quite a bit of the funds from tonight. Adniram, Doohickey again. Snarky Cinderella, Jill Sanderson, Maria Crossley, Not Built to Break. It was a 100 double cat eye from Not Built to Break. Thank you for having integrity and giving back, Gray. Well, thank you. And then PS got on here as a member. Brianna 25, The Mike D Experience, Tosh, Quietly Frozen, Annabelle Stealth, Not Your Average Chick, John C, Crime Freak, Janallison, Scott Holland, K Me, Not Your Average Chick, Simple Life Days, Lisa Wilkerson, Jessica Schubach, Billy Juliana, K Me, Billy Juliana, Tosh, Jessica Schubach, Olivia Dorado, Cindy J, Betty Smith, Una, Scouting Dude, Quietly Frozen, the coolest name in YouTube history. Joel Sane, The Mike D Experience, Lori Will, Brenda Ivy, John Dunn, American Lady, WNC Granny, Zozo popped in, D Smiles a member, thank you, Christy Quasi, Kathy Shiflett, Joel Sane, Jamie, classical guitarist, Loretta Reyes, at the very end there, thank you very much for the cat eye donation there. And then on PayPal we got 4 notebooks. We had one from Debbie, Louise, Scott Edwards, and hopefully your addresses are good on the PayPal, right? And Frida Bailey and Bobby Swain, who actually is getting a notebook. Very cool, very cool. Well, thank you guys. Really appreciate it. And, you know, I think I actually have to put them in here, so hold on a second. I've got to add them to the spin chance. All right. It's a lot more. It's like $15 extra to go to Australia. That's the truth. I lose money on a notebook that goes to Australia. But if you send in 10 or so extra, I'd make something, you know. Alright, you guys, here we go. This is for the Everything Tumbler. Who's gonna win tonight? This is like the #1 level prize here. Looks like Doohickey. And Doohickey deserves to win one. It shows you that you do have better odds. So there you go. Doohickey wins. Well, he's the one that had more, he had way more pieces of pie than anybody else did. Because you get one for every $5. Alright, Doohickey, let me know, let me know. But anyways, thank you guys for being here tonight. Thanks for everybody for supporting the channel despite the negativity that's out there, an attempt to, you know, try to, hey, look at Gray, look at Gray, look at Gray, he's like this, he's like this, he's like this. You know, hopefully you guys know the difference here. And like there's people out there that wonder, you know, like, well, I donate too, but I don't say when I do. Well, I know we do here because it's part of what we do. It's a, you know, it feels like it's a team type of thing. You guys support my channel, and then because from the income I generate, I decide to donate. And so we have the total from, you know, the channel's income. Like the channel itself is a business, right? So the channel, the income that comes in, you know, I put the totals up there because it's kind of cool to see that we've donated $129,000 from the income from the channel. It's painful, okay? It's not, hey, tonight we're gonna put a fundraiser in the chat and count that. That doesn't count. You know, it doesn't really affect you whatsoever at all. You know what I'm saying? It's like, you know, it's one night of something. Like I could sit here and do, you know, put a charity in there, but I guarantee it, we give more to the ones we give than if I had kept doing that all the time. So last year it was $62,250, $42,500 the year before, $22,000 the year before that, and we're now at $129,250. If we can get to 60 something again this year, that would be amazing. It'd be absolutely incredible if we somehow could do 71,000. That would get us, or 73,000. That would get us to $200,000 in a 4-year period. That would be nuts. But that would have to be where it was just like the last 3 months of the entire year. And I just, it doesn't matter. Hey, thanks, Emily Flotilla. We'll put you on there for tomorrow. Emily Flotilla, never illa. All right, got you on there. I'm not going to do a flyby tonight. I did one last night. So, cool, everybody. Thank you very much for being here. We will see you tomorrow. Thank you again for all the support. Thank you, Scout and Dude, for the really cool coins and patches and the story and the belt buckle. And, oh, I didn't ask you about the scarf that's in here. I don't know if you're still awake, but what do you do with this thing? Is this like a... It must have some meaning to it. I don't know if you're still watching or not, but maybe I'll ask you tomorrow at the beginning. Yeah, bandana. That was very cool, very cool. All right, you guys. We'll see you guys tomorrow. And as I always say, everybody, until next time, be safe out there. And a 1 and a 2 and a 3 and a...
Good night, everybody.
Quite a while now. This whole time, I have not seen one person that is a crime dissector, flag projector. I'm a certified human lie detector. Gonna get ya on a stretcher if you try and play me like an old projector. Crime sector is my nectar. Professor Grayl's gonna give another lecture. Crime collector, freak connector, and I'm always gonna be a pup protector. Fool deflector, interceptor, and I'm meaner than a spectre with a vector on his pector. With all respect, just remember I've a temple fucking check ya. I have no agenda.
Basby loves
It's a house!
And I'll serve it to you straight without the blender. And in the end, I'm gonna send ya on a mission to reveal the true offender.
Yeah, Great Basby, he really likes the It's a House!
Back door.
I'm fired out of midnight, 10 down, 15 on.
You know, that's just one step above stupid. Have you lost the last 3 brain cells, or do you
I just left cabbage for prison. That's really funny, Gray.
Would you just let it play, Mary Lou?
Sorry, Gray, I just wanted to say it.
Did you hear what I said? There's mosquitoes the size of
Bald eagles in that dadgum swamp.
Oh my God. Here we go. Is this what's going to happen now?
5 brain cells, 4 aren't working.
Good night, everybody.
You're so mean, Gray.
Oh boy.
Goodbye.
The show is over, Mary.